All right, everyone, welcome for another faction review. I'm Philip, my co host is Kieran,
So,
and we're going to do Orc Marauders today. So let's go straight into it. What is the Orc Marauders rule? Well, it's ferocious. So when attacking, unmodified results of 6 get 1 extra hit. Only the original hit counts as 6 for special rules. So this counts, this is pretty unique in a few ways. One, it's melee and ranged, so it's relentless and furious at the same time, but it's even better because it doesn't have a limitation of having you being the one charged. So you can be fatigued, and this just doubles your fatigued output as well. So very, very killy rule. What do you think?
yeah, no condition is the big difference here. Only the original hit counts as a 6 for special rules, obviously matters as well. Um, that's a classic, though, for these sorts of rules.
But these can really pop off with when you start putting keywords in here, like you can hide deadly weapons, blast weapons, and suddenly you start getting a ridiculous amount of hits or damage through, and it can cause weird spikes too. Like I've had just 3, orc specialists just slam like 15 wounds into me just because they rolled 556 or whatever. And yeah, you can just get wrecked.
It is kind of better than just a +1, isn't it? Because you have the potential to just double your attacks at any given point in time. Like when you've got one shot, that roll of a 6 isn't just a more likely attack. It's when you roll that 6, there are 2 hits, which I've experienced as well, having just one rocket blow up a tough 6 transport by rolling a 6 and getting 2 hits. It happens. It's frustrating when it happens,
It's
but
scary
it's
as
like,
hell when he's rolling those attacks at you, and you're just like, please not a 6, please not a 6, please not.
yeah. Or he rolls 2 dice and you're like, oh, this is fine. Rolls double 6s and he's like, all right, here's 12 dice. They will blast.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Very, very dangerous rule. And another, it's not a universal rule, but it's combined up often with them. They got bad shots. So this sort of goes in with what the infantry is sort of aligned towards. So they are good in melee and they're okay in shooting with this bad shot. So they get a straight -1 to hit with shooting, but they still get ferocious. So they're still okay at shooting to good, depending on the unit. But they're very dangerous in melee, and they get a discount for this. So your melee is cheaper if you're going for that.
yeah, and even better on top of that, right? Um, the equivalent rule that I have would be good shot, which is +1 to hit in shooting. The great thing about bad shot here is that it doesn't affect your morale checks.
Yes.
So this is actually quality 3 up. So yeah, you're better at the thing that you're better at, but you're also good at morale. So not as bad a drawback as one might think.
Yeah, and with the ferocious, you're almost fishing for like the 5s and 6s anyway. So
Mm.
it's not a huge deal to miss out on the 4s sometimes. Yeah, pretty good.
I
So
mean,
they,
it basically means your less quality troops shoot at the quality of, HDF.
yeah, normal veterans.
Exactly. So it's not. It's really not that bad.
Now they do have a mark, so they've got rending in melee. So 35 points, once per activation, pick an enemy unit within 18. Friendly units get rending in melee against once.
I
Really good.
like it.
Yeah, good to have on tap. And the thing with a lot of the orc units is they have bucket loads of attacks, and not all of them are good quality. They're just like 2 up. Sorry, 2 attack, no AP, nothing attacks.
Mm.
And if you can just put rending on them, then now they start to become quite meaningful, which is really
Mm.
good.
The opportunity to ignore regen in general is good. Um, a lot of things do, so regen isn't as good as the other, you know, ignores wounds abilities in this edition. But that doesn't mean you don't take it, because people still take regen. So And the chance to get AP4 on that 6 roll, excellent too. You can think of like the low AP deadly weapons that are in this list, being able to put this on them, and suddenly, you have that 1 in 6 chance, sure, of getting the AP4, but then bada bing, bada boom, it's 2 hits, one of which is AP4, deadly 3, and the other one's, AP2.
Yeah, I quite like it.
It's not expensive. 35
No,
points.
that's the other key thing. Yeah, it's not that expensive. So if you did want to run it, if your enemy's appearing with regen and stuff, you can just switch it off, which is really nice.
When you can have attacks in a basic infantry unit, 35 points to give them all rending isn't much.
No, especially with the amount of attacks. I mean, you can throw 40 plus attacks at a decent quality with ferocious. That's. Let's have a look at some spells first. So let's have a look. So, Elder Protection, pick one friendly unit within 12 which gets resistance once. So this is, you get a 6 up to ignore wounds, and if it's a spell, you get a 2 up. It's alright. 6 up is not that much, but it does combine up with your regen, which you can get in this list quite easily. And if your enemy is going heavy into spell damage, which people don't do as much these days, but some lists can do it, then you can actually really punish them for trying to do that. What do you think about Elder Protection?
I mean, good point there about that it's useful against spells, because while, people aren't really building for a army-wide blaster caster list, I feel like everyone's taken a spellcaster. I certainly feel like I always want to take a spellcaster, and just everyone has those, couple of shots or 5 or 6 shot even spells that just dump a bunch of damage onto a unit. So something like resistance on a spell, so it only sometimes gets used, could be quite good. It does fall, unfortunately, into that niche of once, next time the effect would apply. So your opponent can just
Fire something else.
shoot instead.
I did.
And cast.
I did just think about this. Then there's a few high attack Bane spells floating around now, which are super punishing against orcs specifically. This would be great against that, because you just you go from having a 5 up save, reroll your 6s, no regen, to I have a 2 up against all of the damage on top, which would be a big swing.
And at a 1 cost spell, it's kind of dirt cheap for you.
Alright, so the next damage spell, so pick one enemy unit within 6 inches, which takes 1 hit with AP2 Impale, and Impale means it goes to Deadly 3 if it's a Tough 3 or Tough 9 unit. So Impale is their special weapon roll. You have to watch out for this Orc players, because I've been shot by these Impale weapons, and sometimes the Orc player forgets that they don't affect Tough 12 models. But in terms of this, having it as a spell where you don't have to buy it ahead of time, and then potentially you need to use it against something which it's not effective against, when you can just fire it against a transport or an ogre or something Tough 3, and just immediately get that Tough 3 is quite nice in a spell. For a 1 cost, quite good value.
Yeah, it's pretty funny as well that they're 1 cost spell rather than the usual sort of 2 hits AP1 or 2 hits other special rule spell, that they get just a pseudo deadly to just blap something that's a bit tankier.
At 6 inches too.
Yeah,
Get up in there. This is a melee attack.
Yeah, it's quite funny. But yeah, you can imagine you put this guy in a squad of boys who's charging. You can throw up resistance if you're worried about spells nearby. You can just use this to just bap something in that combat. Say if you charged a tough unit. Yeah, it's quite interesting. Impale, of course, yeah, like you said, that tough 9 limitation is kind of important to track. Yeah, so I wouldn't use Impale for your dedicated anti-tank stuff, but something like this where you can pull it out just whenever you want. Fun. Why not?
Yeah, good to have it on a spell. So we go up to the 2 cost spells. We've got pick 2 friendly units which get Ferocious Boost next time it would apply. Great.
No. This is like the one list that I've seen so far where the boost, well, not the one, I guess there's been others, where the boost is just pure value.
This is
excellent.
this is extreme amount of damage for some units to just pop this on them and then they just start pummeling you with 5s and 6s.
Yeah, yeah. So if you're hitting on, say you're hitting on 5, so you're shooting with, orc boys or whatever, you go from what 1 in 3 with a 1 in 6 chance, so roughly about a 50% hit rate. With this, you're only adding 1/6 more technically, but what you've effectively done over just a 5 up to hit is double it. Because if you hit it all, it's 2.
There's some units in here which have 4 up or 3 up to hit, and then you get the ferocious on top, and you're talking perfect, push through in terms of hits. Yeah, which starts to become pretty savage, and again, it helps with those spikes as well. Now you're getting 5s and 6s, doubling up those blasts and deadlies. Oof.
That 1 in 3 chance to just get twice as many hits as the gun seems like it gets is super nice. And being able to pop this down, and the fact that it applies to 2 units, excellent. It's only going to apply next time you use it, which this is one of those boosts or upgrades that will sit around until you want to use it. It's just super nice.
Everything likes this. This is not a melee only thing. This is not a shooting only thing. It's any of your attacks that you fire off are just better.
Yep.
So just everything will like it.
That wants to deal damage, which is your
most orc units.
Yeah.
All right. So psychic vomit. Pick one enemy unit within 6 inches, which takes 6 to hit with the bane. Here's what I was talking about. Those high attack bane hits. Great. These are really annoying. Against certain units, these are incredibly annoying. My HGF units hate getting hit with this. Orcs hate getting hit with this. Infected colonies hate getting hit with this. Certain alien hives, like any of the low quality chaffy troops that probably are having a regen to defend themselves. Oh, this is just brutal to get hit with.
Yeah. No notes, honestly. It's a 2-cost spell. It hits 6 times. Bane is a great rule, like you said, for the chaff units that you're probably targeting. Yeah, no notes. And that's the thing. If you're not versing those lists, you have Path of War right there, which will never not be a good spell to cast.
Mm-hmm. And just slam them with Deathbolt or something, because obviously they got some quality around. So
yeah.
Yep. Head bang. So cost 3. Pick up 2 3 enemy units within 18 inches, which friendly units get rending against in melee once. Next time I would apply. That's a lot, and that's a good range. Harder to use than the other ones, because of course it's melee only. But that's pretty decisive to get 3 melee fights off one spell. 3 rending melee fights.
Is there a caster 3 available?
Berserker's got it. He's the only one though.
Ooh.
So just the Berserker Leader.
That's tough.
It is, because the Berserker Leader is a bit of a weird one. But, I mean, if you want caster 3, he's there.
You have an option, yeah.
Yeah, I think I have to have a look. Some of the vehicles have casting too, but I don't think they have caster 3.
You think of it like this: it's a 4 up to cast. If you've got a cast 3, if you delay a turn, maybe cast a 1-cost spell with a caster 2 as well. You can cast it. A 50-50 chance to apply your normal buff on 3 units. Well, I guess debuff, kind of, on 3 units. It's pretty nice.
It's fighting with Ferocious Boost, though.
It is.
It is. Ferocious Boost is going to do similar. I guess if you're up against regen, high defense stuff, then rending would be super nice.
Yeah.
I guess you can make that decision on the table. You got your caster, you can see what you're up against. So
exactly, and with usable one cost spells, it's not like giving up one of your caster tokens on that first turn is going to hurt you too much.
And then we got the Crackling Bolt. Pick one enemy unit within 18, which takes 3 hits with Blast 3. It's fine. It's good range. It's not as high damage as a lot of the 3-cost ones. And it's got that caveat of you really need at least 3 enemy models, to make use of this, unlike a lot of the other ones, which are just straight 9 hits.
Nah.
Yeah, look, I would definitely go probably the other spells over this one. But,
Yeah.
if you really need to slam 9 hits into a 3 model unit, easy,
Yeah.
easy dude.
I guess blast will ignore cover as well, but that's
So does melee.
kind of surprise. Yeah, well, arguably, because psychic vomit comes with bane, that's almost ignores cover. It's almost a neg 1. Yeah, just better things to cast.
So pretty good spell list overall. Some good versatility here and a lot of damage in terms of boosts for your units. So not bad.
Yeah.
Start from the top. We'll go for the Ultra Veteran Leader. So what do we get? We get a Quality 3 Defense 4. Bad Shot Ferocious, standard. He's got Tough 6 though. And he's got... Let's see. So we got Piercing Fighter first. I really like Piercing Fighter. So I can't tell you the amount of times that a 20 orc mob with no buffs has gone into like a light combat, like a light walker or something, and they just don't do any damage. It didn't get through the 2-up. And then, they might lose to a Fear 1 and a couple of kicks. And Piercing Fighter makes it so that something is going through. AP1, like 30 AP1 attacks, something is going to get through. It's just going to push your damage up a lot. What do you think?
Yeah. Using your example there with 30 attacks is a good number to use as an example. You've lost a couple of boys in that case, but if you get 30 hits or whatever through, you're looking at what, 5 without this, and then 10 with this.
Yeah, straight double. Just much more reliable.
Up. Yeah, double the wounds that go through against a 2-up save, assuming there's no other cheeky stuff like fortified. Yeah, it's there's nothing wrong with this. There's nothing bad. There were very, very specific niches where you wouldn't want this on a melee squad, which is if they're all AP4, but that's it.
Yeah, even the deadly stuff, because their deadly is AP2, their heavy saws, they appreciate this a lot. Going AP2 to AP3 on deadly 3 is nice. So yeah, I really value getting Piercing Fighter on these big orc mobs if you have the opportunity. Range Shrouding Aura. So negative 6-inch range when trying to shoot units that have this rule. Okay. Well, it'd make me really hard to flame them.
I was going to say, you want me to go first?
Yeah, you go.
I love this. I think this is excellent. As a big fan of stealth as an upgrade to my units, to sort of force my opponent to engage me the way I want to, and sort of make use of ranges, I think this would absolutely jump the orc unit ahead and be a perfect counter to our sort of infantry meta, which is, for us, it's the 12-inch shotguns.
And flamer bombs.
And flamer bombs. Now, you don't really have the opportunity to use them as well as you used to. A lot of people, such as the current Dow and some other options, have carbines as well. Now the carbine players have to get within charge range of the orcs.
True.
Just to shoot at them. You can't put yourself with this upgrade on. It's a lot harder to put yourself out of charge range of the orcs, and that is a big buff for the orcs when they're versing primarily shooting armies that are just going to try and kite them.
And considering the orcs have that banner, which gives them, we'll talk about it later, but it's a plus 6-inch charge once. You can be in range of 24-inch guns for charge. They can't shoot you for free if you have this aura, which is kind of crazy. It's defensive.
It is. But if you're looking at your big mob, you can throw stuff to up their damage output, and Piercing Fighter is definitely an option for that. But there's sort of a feeling with those lower quality units, there's quite a low defense on them. So if you're worried about regen just not being it, if everyone in your meta takes all rending, all bane weapons all the time, then this might be a better option, because it'll give you a dose of survivability whilst also providing a tactical positioning advantage. And anytime you do that to your opponent, it's good.
So those Tyranid guns and the Dwarf guns, which have 6-inch range,
Yep.
They have a 0-inch range.
Yeah, fat luck shooting them.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, I can see that. That's pretty cool.
yeah.
If you look at it as less a defense and more like you're dragging your enemy into your range, so it's kind of like an offense in that case,
Hmm.
then yeah, okay.
Hmm.
So
But
yeah,
it is technically both as well. One thing I will say though, everything I just said is to caveat with range shrouding aura. If you're going into a situation where you don't know which army you're versing, and like a tournament sort of situation, you're probably versing a variety. This drops down in its how good it is, in comparison to something like piercing fighter, which is more universally useful.
yeah, but interestingly, so the shorter range weapons, usually the more decisive they are. Like you said, shotguns, flamers, things like that. So the ability to just punish those brutally is it
Yeah.
is a nice surprise factor because people do take those. I mean, yeah, we take them a lot.
Yes.
Okay, so mend. So once per activation, pick one friendly model within 3 inches and tough and remove D3 wounds from it. You can get this pretty cheap. We can get this 75 points for a mend unit. It's not bad. Mend can be good. What do you think about mend?
I like the rule mend. I'm not sure I really like it on orcs. They have so many great. They have so many choices of leader. First of all, there's 4 choices of leader, and all of them have an array of great buffs. I think mend might just be a poor use of the slot. That could be a wizard just at base.
Can I show you a meme unit for your consideration?
Of course.
So ultra veteran leader, tough 6 with mend in ultra veterans, all of which have tough. So every round he activates, he just takes D3 wounds off his own unit over the entire game,
One from
including
the model.
himself.
So the model has to be alive,
Yeah,
and he's
he's not going to
removed.
reanimate a unit, but yeah, if
Yeah,
something's down 2 wounds, and he just brings it back.
yeah.
I'm not saying it's
It's
good, but it is funny.
it. Well, it is good, right? It's because it's regen, but it's guaranteed in a way. Um, well, it is and it isn't guaranteed, right? If you lose just one model and there's no extra wounds over, then Mend won't do anything.
He could give it
Um,
to a tank or something potentially, but he's probably going to be doing. He's probably going to be mixing it up in the front.
yeah, yeah. So I can see a niche for it, but I just love the other buffs so much for the orcs that be a tough pick.
You before the list got split, you used to be able to have goblins. I'm pretty sure, and you could get like a really cheap mend, and you could have like 4 or 5 goblins in one of their titans, and it mended like
Mm.
4d3, 5d3 per turn. But I think this is getting a bit too expensive for that kind of strat now. 75 points to get a Orc Leader with Mend, who does nothing else but Mend all game. Not quite enough for that amount of
Mm.
points. It could be a small unit elsewhere.
I mean, hey, maybe if you're playing 4K points and you've got Titans all on the board, having a Titan that just auto regens D3 every turn would be a cheap upgrade for 75 points. But yeah, I don't know.
Alright, so we got Gunmaster, Unpredictable Shooter Aura. So, when shooting, you either get +1 to hit or +1 AP. You don't know until you shoot. This is really good. I like this quite a bit. So, of course, orcs really appreciate +1 to hit because because of their bad shot rule, but also they got the ferocious, so they can pile in a whole bunch of hits. But the AP is very relevant too, because they have a lot of shots. There's some real DACA weapons. So just adding +1 AP on them can really start to really push that damage.
It's you don't get consistency in outcome for this. There will be a few situations where this doesn't pop off in a way you want, but for the most part, this is just a straight up benefit.
Yeah. And you can set it up so the unit is good kind of either way. So if you've got carbines on your 20-man orc mob, carbines getting +1 to hit or +1 AP, either's fine. I'm happy with either of those outcomes most of the time.
Yeah, even if it loses 6-inch range from the other aura option you take.
Mm.
Mm.
Alright, and Ferocious Boost. So this model and its unit just gets Ferocious Boost all the time. So 5s and 6s explode. Wow, that's a lot of damage.
Yep.
That's pretty scary. Uh,
Yeah.
is this the standard one? Either this one or Piercing Fighter for me are the super dangerous ones.
I mean, yeah, it'll depend what you put it in, right? It'll depend on the squad around it. But Ferocious Boost kind of always is viable, regardless if they're shooting or in, hitting and melee. Piercing Fighter is technically more niche
Mm.
at the end of the day, no matter what. But that's why there's a 20 point difference, right?
Yeah, yeah, I quite. That's it. 55 points is a lot, but that is a big upgrade to a unit. So we got some other ones. Yeah, so the veteran leader has hit and run fighter aura for 5 points. So once per round, where all models have this rule, may move 3 inches after being in melee. Like, not really. You're giving up one of these other really impactful buffs. What do you think? It's 5 points,
Yeah,
but
I mean, if you're taking the veteran leader over one of the other options that has access to the piercing in melee, because this doesn't, then yeah, I mean, hit and run fighter could be a melee unit option here. Extra mobility is never like bad. You don't always need it, but it's never really bad. You can sort of picture the situations where your opponent tries to screen you off objectives by moving his unit forwards, knowing you're going to charge anyway. This sort of gives you that extra 3 inch to get within range. It can potentially win you a game in certain circumstances that way. I think though that hit and run shooter is just a better option than fighter. So that
yeah,
is one of the
because you can get
reasons.
that to go off reasonably every turn, and you don't have to worry about potentially losing
Yeah,
when you go into
which
something.
which is really why this is just 5 points. But I think it also falls into that same category of, yeah, if I'm taking heroes in the Orc list, I want to use one of their awesome auras. So, yeah, you could, but
Are there any we're missing? Cast of 3, and then no, that's all of them. Okay, so let's go into the ultra veteran leader as a unit. So he's tough 6. We can get him. What weapons do you like on him? So you can get 7 shots, which is kind of funny. But I like him in melee.
yeah,
So we go. I kind of like this 6 attack AP2 reliable. That's it's a
it
tasty
is.
weapon.
It is nice.
You can go the
For
double swords.
a little more, you could go double claw.
You can go double claw for the double AP4, and that's what 25 points more.
Yeah, I mean,
Not
quality.
reliable, but AP4.
You look at a quality 3 unit. I don't think the reliable melee on heavy great weapon is really what I want. I'd rather get the extra AP from the heavy claw, or save a little bit of points, go for the double heavy axe. Um, yeah, I'd rather those options. I think,
Yep.
especially because you could be having +1 AP from piercing fighter, presumably.
Well, that's where, yeah. So if I was running the piercing fighter for who he's running with to buff them up, then I'd probably go the heavy great weapon. But yeah, if he's doing something else, then the AP4 starts to become very interesting as an option, because that's 2 extra attacks and it's at much higher AP. That's pretty good.
It's also good to think of it like if he's in a squad, a lot of the times the Orc squad will be like low quality, high volume. So having high quality attacks on him embedded in the squad quite useful because he also hits more. So the fact that you have less doesn't make them less impactful.
He also has the option to repel ambushes like a lot of the other Orc leaders, so which is a really great option to have. Not that people really like to ambush within 9 inches of Orcs, but the ability to just push them out of your deployment is quite good. Do you ever
There's
run him
that,
shooting? Not really, right?
there's that combo of repel ambushes and the range shrouding, but then they're what they can't get in range potentially with flamers. They got to be outside of 12.
So they have to be outside of 12.
And
And then they get a 6-inch move, and then they'd have a 6-inch range. So technically, they'd have to be at least 0.1 out.
yep.
That's interesting.
It's pretty funny. I think you'd take this if you did take range repelling, then you'd range shrouding. You'd definitely take repel ambushes with it, just because it'd be funny. It's 10-point upgrade too.
Yeah, yeah. And so if your opponent's doing ambushing shenanigans, then you can just say no to that and just run a bunch of leaders of different kinds.
Yeah.
So the cyborg body regeneration, this is weird. So it's only for him and the other leaders. The other leaders have a similar upgrade. You'd have to really run him on his own to get any value out of this, because he won't come into any play until all his units dead. And then he'll be able to get his regen saves.
Unless the unit also has it for whatever reason.
But then, if he doesn't have it, then all models.
Yep.
But if he's attached to a unit where they've got the regeneration aura, then he's good.
Yeah, that's probably a better point, isn't it? All models have this rule. This model in it and its unit get regen, so that would apply to
It'd apply to him if he's connected. So it's only if he's running on his own, or if everyone's dead.
The Ultra Vets do it where each model gets the upgrade instead, perhaps?
Ultra Vets don't even get a regen upgrade.
They don't?
No regen for them.
Okay, then yeah, I guess it's only, you're right, it's only then for him by himself.
I wouldn't run him on his own. He's too expensive with his defense 4.
Oof. Is he expensive?
Okay, so let's run him on his own without any friends. So
2 heavy claws. That's
8 AP4 with regen, and that's it. He's 195. You could give him mend so he can heal himself. That's pretty funny with regen and mend.
I think he's not that expensive, and it's because of that 4-up save. But yeah, I do see as well. I'd probably want to take him in a unit.
See, he's buffing. A lot of the units have quality 4, so this quality 3 is going to matter.
Yeah.
So he wants to be in a unit with these crazy auras. And some of the units have those banners like we were talking about, which help deliver him, so he can get that extra 6-inch charge.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's just walking with 12 inches.
Yeah, you're right. I could see you putting him in practically any of the Orc squads, assuming they don't require other mobility stuff.
I haven't thought about this, but maybe if he's just running... so you put him in a truck, right, with another 10-man squad, but he's not attached to the squad. He's also just another threat that charges something else, maybe. If you want to run him as a separate activation.
If you've got two of your activations in a game in one transport, that transport better be bloody survivable.
Well, there's some survivable transports in here, but yeah, it would be priority number 1 for getting shot.
Well, on the plus side, I guess if the transport survives, he can mend it before he hops out, right?
Oh, if he's running mend, yeah. Yeah, there you go. Maybe solo mend guy running around healing himself while helping out the transport could be a go. Yeah, he's pretty good.
You want to use an aura.
Yeah, and he is pretty expensive.
You didn't say how you take him shooting.
Yeah, so I don't think he's good at shooting. Let me just say that. So you can run the carbine mods. He does have the limited weapons, which I like. You can get a discount for taking your limited weapons, which is interesting. But I think because the other leader units are cheaper and can also run unpredictable shooter aura.
It seems a bit weird to waste so much toughness on a shooting unit for Orcs.
For this guy. He's not really doing anything with all those extra toughness and wounds, and yeah. But yeah, you could run 7 shots on him and walk around if you wanted to. Alright, so Veteran Leader. So Quality 3, Defense 4, Bad Shot Ferocious, and Tough 3. Let's see. So he can run Ambush Flying, he can have Scout Stealth Strider, he can have a Bike for extra shots and toughness and fast. He's got Repel Ambushes again, and lots of different weapons. Okay, I really wish this veteran leader had the piercing melee, so that he could give his quality 3 to the Orc Warriors with their quality 4, but he just can't. You have to upgrade to an ultra veteran if you want to do that, which is sad. But in that case, you're pretty much going to run Ferocious Boost or Range Shrouding Aura, I guess, if you wanted to do that. Or this is the really good guy to do the Unpredictable Shooter Aura as well. If you've got a big stack of Orc Warriors with carbines and stuff, Shooter Boys.
Yeah, so you still get that quality 3 for morale checks. Yeah. He's also got nice guns.
He does. So look at this gun. Attack 4 AP1 Surge, which stacks with the Ferocious, so you get 3 hits on a 6, and it's AP1 base.
What are you doing? Spend less, get shred.
Shred?
Yeah.
Where are we getting shred?
Yeah,
Portal gun. Attack 4 Shred. Yeah. That's pretty good. Interestingly, he can just be a dude on his own too. Little semi-activation that scouts with stealth and strider.
Yep.
And he's actually got relevant guns for that purpose. And I guess you could make him a caster too. And now he's like a little annoying thing. He'll die, so you got to look after him. But this could actually put out meaningful damage as a single model, which is kind of funny.
Scout, stealth, strider. He's got the trio.
Yeah, he does. He just needs fast. Can't put him on a bike as well, sadly.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, if you're putting him solo, you're probably not going to build him for melee, right?
No, too spooky with defense 4. If we put him on a bike, we get 3 attacks, and we can get,
and we do get
4 from the portal gun, and so he's 135 for 7 shots, 4 of which have shred, 18 inches, with fast. And he could go into a unit if you wanted to give some unpredictable shooters or something. Yeah, this guy's really good. If you have a use for these buffs, these specific ones, then I think this is probably the best one to pick, purely because of this quality. Pick your weapons a la carte. There's some great ones in here.
It's a 10-point upgrade to just have not only him be better, but have the whole squad be +1 morale.
Yeah, 10 points to upgrade your morale is worth it every time.
Wish I could.
Yeah. Cowardly Dow. Yeah, however you want to run him. Melee or shooting. Any standouts? So extra heavy saws is kind of good. Maxing out AP4. And yeah, I think any of these 4 attack weapons look pretty juicy to me for ranged.
From the leaders, there's not a huge amount of melee attacks that you tend to get. It's usually just as you get from like a sergeant or special weapon in a squad.
You're kind of hoping these blasts or deadly get a ferocious hit, and then they just pop off with 6 wounds or 6 hits with blast.
Yeah.
5 points for a ferocious blast 3. Not bad.
Yeah.
Alright, let's have a look at Berserker. So, what does he get? He gets quality 4 defense 6. He's got piercing assault, so he gets +1 AP when charging. He's got protected, so he's got 6 up ignore wounds, and he's got shielded, so +1 defense on his defense 6 as long as he keeps it. He can get piercing fighter, and he's the only one who can get caster 3 in terms of the leaders. And he's got weird weapons, so we can have counter, which is interesting. He's got base thrust, so he hits on 3s ferocious with AP1, AP2 when he charges with piercing assault. He can run combat beast or greater combat beast.
Yeah, or you're dropping it out to get the spear to be charged instead. Doesn't give you a shooting option though, so
no shooting for him.
It's just a stand and wait. It's a weird thing to have on a buffing hero, like a defensive only be hit ability.
Is he tough enough to be bait? You can get up to tough 9? Does he have regen? He doesn't.
No, he does get a decent number of attacks as you buff him up though. But yeah, being capped at Def 5, even with the 6-up ignore wounds from protected.
It's not enough. Las guns are going to shoot at this guy and have fun.
I guess he is kind of dirt cheap.
He is. And this piercing assault is kind of good. Because it counts for all of these beast jaws and stuff as well, which is nice. So as you start to stack that up, it starts to become more relevant. He's the only one who gets the bounding, so you get to... It's kind of like... Is it bad fast? Yeah, it is bad fast. It's not 4 inches normally. It's only a 1 in 3 chance of being that. But you do get to sort of semi-dodge terrain. So if you do find yourself having to go through some dangerous or difficult terrain, you can just hopefully bounce 3 inches or 4 inches through it and then just go your full 12 inches.
Yeah. It's the way I always see bounding. That's a good point. But the way I always see bounding is it by default will let you outcharge things that aren't fast.
Yeah, you're always going to get at least 2. Would you run any of these big guys? He has to run alone if he's on the Great Combat Beast, because Tough 9 can't join a unit. I don't think I would do that. He's too vulnerable.
I mean, Tough 9, and then you've got, 7 attacks? Potentially more if you go with the dual combat weapon, but then you'll lose part of your very thin protection of shielded. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it
You can get 9 attacks.
That's what I mean. But
Ravage.
It's 9 attacks, but you're rolling a 6-up save and then a protection roll on 6-up. It's
not quite enough. It's defense. I think running him on a combat beast, if you're going to run those as a unit, is pretty good.
Yeah,
because he can give him piercing fighter, and suddenly the piercing assault plus the piercing fighter plus the thrust weapon, you got AP3, which is really nice on a big unit.
But who's he attached to?
He'd have to be attached to the Berserker Beast Riders,
because they'd also have the bounding and the thrust lance.
Yeah, and the piercing assault.
It feels too niche.
It is. It is very niche. Caster 3 is this niche. That's a... If you want to cast those big spells, then he's your guy.
Yeah, or even cast more of the little spells. I like Caster 3, so I want to like being able to use this guy, but unless I'm taking him in a unit of the Beast Riders, I'm not taking him.
Well, one thing we could think about, let's say if we wanted a commander to run with our melee blob of Orc Warriors. So we're running Piercing Fighter. We don't have to pay for defenses, because defenses are irrelevant to him. He's buried in 20 boys. Yeah, he can just, for slightly cheaper, get Piercing Fighter out there with lots of attacks.
How much is the Orc Leader with Piercing Fighter?
So Piercing Fighter, he'd be 70. So... Oh, no, 75. No, that's Mend. So 70, and we've just got 2 attacks and 2 pistol attacks. And this guy's got 4 attacks with AP 2.
That is with dual hand. How much is dual hand weapons?
5 points.
Okay. So 5 points more expensive, I think, than
the Orc Leader.
So if you're trying to go as cheap as possible for piercing fighting, you wouldn't even go for the Berserker Leader.
No, it's really only the caster.
Yeah.
That's his niche.
So I guess
caster, or you're running the combat beasts.
Yeah. If you want to cast a 3 and you have a spare squad that you don't have a leader in that you can just throw him in, that he's going to be able to keep up with, that would be fine. But he's not really going to bring anything to any squad he's in that you couldn't get somewhere else. Except in the other Berserker Beast Riders.
And if you really want 2 counterattacks and -2 impacts.
I actually hadn't seen that second part of counter.
Yeah, so they counter cavalry slightly. Or it depends if you got a lot. They can completely counter impact. And then they strike first on top. It is in niche circumstances. the orc player we play with brought a unit of these specifically for my cavalry to completely negate all my impacts, which is fun.
Oh, I imagine.
Yeah,
It's funny. It's funny that they can reduce the impact of a truck with a battering ram using the spears.
true, true. This guy would knock 2 off for transports 3. That's actually kind of cool.
Mm.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it works on all vehicles in that sense as well.
Mm.
Um,
Okay, he's interesting. So then we get the cheap option, the Orc Leader. So he's only quality 4, defense 5, bad shot, ferocious, tough 3. He is vanilla ice cream, but you know what? He is versatile. Look at all these options. Okay, so he's got the piercing fighter aura, so he's pretty much a standard to go into the Orc Warriors because he can do it for very cheap, unlike the Ultra Veteran Leader. But he can do all the other things too. He can do unpredictable shooter, range shrouding, lots of nice weapons. He can run with the ambushing orcs. He can do the scouting orcs. He can run with the bikes. He can run on his own with regen if you're doing that for some reason. He's got the repel. He's got the weird guns.
run with the ambushes.
Yep.
Oh, the veteran.
Oh,
For
the
the
veteran
veteran.
leader. Yes, he can do the same.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you need to save points, you could take the Orc Leader, I guess.
Well, I mean, the reason you take this guy is because he's got the piercing fighter aura, and the veteran doesn't.
Oh, yes, you're right.
Yeah, so if whatever you're doing involves melee, then your orc leader is just better in most circumstances. He does not have the ferocious boost though, unlike the other ones. So yeah, you're making that choice. Any crazy weapons? Look at this pistol, rending unstoppable. Kind of cool. He's got the standard 4-attack carbine. Rocket pistols. Pretty standard. He's got all these shooty weapons. I think he's pretty fine just in a melee blob with piercing fighter, and I like just having a pocket heavy saw. So that you just roll that attack and I rolled a 6, AP 3, deadly 3. 2 of those, please.
Yeah, so this is your discount piercing fighter, I guess.
Yeah.
Is the main reason. Or just discount veteran leader if you need to save points. But in a lot of cases, I'd rather take the other options for these.
It's the piercing fighter. If you need piercing fighter, he's the most convenient version of it. And he slots into most things. Yeah, he's good. These orc buffs are very relevant. The only problem is that some of these squads start to get very expensive, even once you start putting in leaders and doubling them up. So
yeah, yeah, you're kind of investing a lot of extra points for the buff, so you only want to really save it for your units that are going to get full use, which means you kind of want to build double-sized squads, and then, yeah, I mean, it builds up quick.
So let's have a look at the core units then. So we got Orc Warriors, quality 4, defense 5, bad shot, ferocious. They start with 2 attacks and pistols, and we've got some things we can upgrade. So they can have a war banner, speed, feat. Once per game, when this unit moves, all models have this rule. You may use this rule so that they move +3 when using advance or +6 when using rush charge. Wow.
Yep.
I'm clicking it. This is really good. What do you think about this?
Yeah, there's rarely going to be a game where this doesn't have a use, even if it's just moving up the board faster on turn 1, which I wouldn't use this for, I wouldn't just use this to move 18 inches into nothing, because you could move 12 and then 18 after.
This allows you to pounce on fast units, because they get to move 16 and you can out pounce them at 18, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's the fact that it once per game makes it cheaper, and then, like you said, that 18-inch is even better than fast for range. So now you've got this perfect Alpha Strike combo, right? It's cheaper because it's limited, and it's front loaded in its ability to benefit you. Yeah, it's 10 points. It's dirt cheap. Yeah, I would pretty much always take this, unless maybe if I was taking a minimum size squad for some reason, I might consider regen. But honestly, yeah, just this.
So when
It's
I've
just
got
good.
melee bombs on the field with human defense forces, I will often buy a caster whose sole job is to cast the spell that gives 3 units plus 6 inches to charge. And that's a 50% chance that that goes off on the second round. And it's still worth it to me because it's so impactful to just have a pocket plus 6 inches on your model's charges that often aren't fast. This one, 100% chance to happen, and it costs 10 points. Incredible. Wow. Yeah. Auto take? And if you're doubling up, it has to be auto. Yeah. A 10-man unit should just take this. And then 20-man unit, we can start talking about regen.
I also do look at these and think, wow, I am including snipers against orcs for sure.
Yeah, look, if you shot this with orcs, they'd be super sad.
Yeah. Which now, thinking about it that way, I would pretty hard prioritize this, right, in terms of a sniper trying to hit it, which is also another good sign. It's 10-point upgrade.
So I do take snipers against orcs for exactly that reason. I want their medics out, and I want this out, because I just can't deal with that on a big block of 20 boys. And if I can just get rid of that turn 1, then that's that cripples the unit to have those two things gone. So yeah, you're absolutely right, snipers. So the next thing is Fear 2, Scary Banner. This model counts as having plus X wounds. Everyone knows what Fear does.
Yeah.
Not on Defense 5, guys. They're either going to smash or they'll be smashed. There's no two ways about it. Especially because you only get to pick one of these per 10. So at maximum, you're getting 2. So by picking this, you're not getting regen or you're not getting speed, which is just, what are you doing? Stop. And then regen. So yeah, your blob gets regen.
Regen naturally will do Fear 2, right? Because it'll make
you reduce wounds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, and regen is if you have a 20-man blob, just put regen on it. If you don't have enough points, take points off something else. It's super annoying to verse orcs with mass regen. Do it. Okay, so how do we run our Orc Warriors? So you do have the shooting option. You just get an 18-inch 2 attack, and you lose your 2 attacks on your close combat weapon. It's okay. You're kind of pushing up against bad shot there, so you almost want a commander in there to give them the unpredictable shooter, and then it starts to get pretty expensive.
You could also just ferocious buff.
Yeah, you could. But I think just melee. So how do we run them in melee? So I've got a few different ways I like them. So I think just a 10-man squad with speed feat and a couple of blasts. So it's cheap for orcs. Orcs are quite expensive. 200 points. They're going to get a turn 2 charge. They might get a turn 1 charge if the enemy's stupid. And yeah, they'll chop into other infantry very effectively for a good price. Just for a little 10-man unit.
And you don't really care if these die, right? At 200 points, you're in that band of like most other people's sort of infantry units.
And this will jump on them. It's going to get a first turn charge unless something goes wrong. Yeah, and look, you can go crazy. So you can go speed feat, regen with 20 boys, and then we start, if it's a big squad, we're starting to throw AP4 in there, I think. Or you can throw deadly in there if you like. So that's 460 points for a big combined squad like that. And that's really hard to deal with now. 20 boys with regen. You could put a leader in them if you want, to put them even more over the top. But just at 460, they're very dangerous just on their own.
I mean, if you take claws, then you go ferocious boost. If you want to go for one of the other melee weapons, you might not, but definitely with heavy claws.
This is where it can be nice to have something like that Ultravet leader with the claws, and then a ferocious boost, and they're using their speed feat to get this ultra veteran leader in there, and he's doubling their AP4 attacks. So now you got 16 AP4 attacks on top of the 32 normal attacks, all of which has got ferocious boost on top.
But now you're just shy of point cap
Yes.
for this unit.
Yes. Yes, it's an expensive unit. But as I said, you don't have to go too crazy on them. They can run on their own. You could just put an Orc Leader in them. How would you run them?
Well, even better, I like that, what you were just explaining, and I like that unit, the double heavy claw. Particularly, I really like how that combos even better with a wizard casting ferocious boost on 2 units. Is it 2 units with the spell?
So ferocious boost is 2 units for Path of War.
Yeah. So I really like that you can basically have this caster apply ferocious boost to 2 of these units, where it's just an insane number of attacks. I like having the chance of doing that more than I like buying a leader for the guaranteed to do it to 1 squad, if you know what I mean.
So you'd go, I assume it's a veteran leader for the quality 3 with the caster 2, and it's a doubled up Orc Warriors unit with what?
Yeah, look, it's the thing with the with ferocious boost, I'd probably want the claws.
Go heavy claws.
Because
Doubled
that's
up
what I'm picking.
with regen speed boost, of course.
Yep.
And
Kind of.
throw the caster in there. So we're at 550. And you can, like you said, you could put another unit alongside them. It could be any unit. It doesn't have to be more Orc Warriors. And get a ferocious boost.
And then even everything aside, right? Because this is now a leader in the squad. It's now a caster in the squad. It's just a protected caster. He can still do his other wizard stuff instead. But if on turn 1 you pop off that ferocious boost, he probably doesn't need to cast it again. Like, you may get serial charges with this unit, but that first charge is usually going to be the one that really sort of is the most important. I mean, even just having the buff from this caster come from outside of this squad as well would be great. The other way that I would want to run this is if I went for the +1 AP from the normal Orc Leader.
Yeah, the normal Orc Leader with the piercing fighter.
Yep. And then go for the Orc Warriors, change the special weapons out. Give them, either the heavy saw or... Honestly, the heavy saw. I think a fair bit about the opportunity to give +1 AP to the heavy saws.
They need something to go into vehicles, or just defense 2 in general, because you just can't have your massive attacks going into defense 2 without any of these high AP deadly weapons to back them up.
And even if you're not going into a tank, that +1 AP applied to this squad is applying to 16 other melee weapons that are now just AP1, which is the universally
Per
used
10, so it's 32 total if it's a combined squad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 32 attacks getting +1 AP is very nice.
Yeah.
And he's not that expensive. 70 points for an Orc Leader. I mean, you can put a weapon on him.
But
what do you think about some cheapy blasts with the AP? You get some 5-point blasts in there. Again, no real defense, but now when you get your +1 AP for piercing, you can probably punch through with your normal attacks into defensive stuff. And now you got AP1 blasts for cheap.
yeah, I don't know. It's that you're replacing a 2 attack with a 1 attack blast. Any other list, I would say this is silly. Don't do this.
Ferocious though.
But ferocious is the thing that sort of changes it, right?
You just roll that 6 and you get super happy.
Because I mean, you think of logistically, right? If you've got a 50-50 chance of hitting, which you would normally with a quality 4 up, going from 2 attacks to 1 blast changes you to 1.5 hits from 1 hit. Now instead, you're a lot closer to getting 2 with ferocious. That's the real big difference.
So I was just looking at this, and I'm trying to drive these unit costs down as far as I can. And if we have we got the war banner and we got Rich. Okay, yeah. So if we have an Orc Leader and we just keep him super cheap, so he's got the piercing fighter, and he's got the 5-point blast, and then you got the 5-point blast here and the 5-point blast here. Now, even when this unit is wrecked, you've taken 15 casualties, you've still got 5 AP1 blasts on the attack with Ferocious. They're still going to savage infantry, even with 5 models. Yeah. I don't know. I think it would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I am biased against one attack blast melees just because I just really don't like the one attack. But that being said, orcs with ferocious built in, it's the place where you'd use them. And with that +1 AP buff, +1 AP is just so universally useful.
So good, yeah. Yeah, so Orc Warriors, what do we think about them generally? I think they are pretty good. Very good baseline unit. They are quite expensive for like a... You don't have chaff in Orcs. You just don't. It's not there. But this unit is very smashy. What do you think?
I mean, you kind of worry you don't have like a 200-point unit. Like at 10 Orc Warriors in 2K isn't going to be hard to kill. So their main tankiness is not going to come from themselves. It's going to come from having lots of other guys around that are just as threatening. So your real two option is either you're sort of going wide and using the sheer number of threats in their face to scare them off and protect your warriors, or you're doubling them up.
Doubling them up and giving them support and just making them terrifying.
Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of a weird... It sits in a weird place for sure. It feels like other people can get more value out of a 200-point unit, which is roughly what Orc Warriors are with a few upgrades, with the speed feat, or also 190 plus, yeah, 1 or 2 weapons, about 200. It feels like other people can do more in that range at a lower model count, so you're really trying to get more out by having more guys with lower quality attacks and low quality defense. I don't know. I like them, but they fit a weird niche in the meta.
They are. You really have to use this speed feed aura to get the maximum out of them, because they are kind of glass cannons, like you mentioned. They're almost like... There's so many of them. Once you get 20, then they're not really glass cannons anymore, but they're very expensive cannons. So you really want them to get that charge off and start smashing really quickly. If they just walk across the board and just get shot, then it's quite a lot of points for their defensive profile.
And unbuffed, they're not actually much of a cannon. Like they'll shred infantry, like low quality infantry in particular. Once you start to get up to a 3 up armor, if you're using a 10-man orc blob, it's not gonna really scratch through unless you start stacking. Yeah, you start buffing them, putting leaders in, increasing the volume of attacks, buying weapons. So, yeah.
All right, so let's have a look at Berserkers. So 5-man squad, defense 4, quality 4, defense 6, ferocious, piercing assault, protected, shielded. They come with spears with counter, and you can either double their attacks for 5 points or just run AP4 weapons for 10, and they've got the same buffs that the Orc Warriors can get. All right, super weird. It's weird, like you mentioned, the fact that they don't have ranged weapons kind of makes their counter a bit strange. And it's not even doubled up at 170 points. 10 attacks as a first strike is not that terrifying, because they have to charge to get the AP1.
Now you I think this is one of those things where you really need to stop thinking, because you start with the orcs and you're like, I upgrade these because the upgrades will do the actual damage. I get the AP. I think when you see berserkers, you need to go chaff. This is a speed bump. I don't care if it survives. It's only there to take up time. It's 85 points base. That's dirt cheap. You could even swap out to give them double attacks if you wanted to charge with them. But honestly, keeping the shielded and the counter and just putting them in the way of your opponent's scouting charges. So I'm a big fan of using like hounds from what are they called? Jackals. Jackal hounds. So scouting up a light, cheap melee charger with fast. You put these in the way. This is gonna win the fight against the hounds, just point for point, because of that counter. And there's no real way I can deal with that other than running around. I could just shoot the berserkers, I guess.
That
But
feels
you can
bad.
then, yeah, you can then still just charge, and because you've got counter, it means you're always sort of going first. So against the light chaff scouting units, and scout units are quite popular, this does have a niche, I think. And at 85 points, you know, it's a dummy activation, if nothing else. This will gladly sit in front of something and die.
Yeah, this would be a chaff activation unit. I don't think it's worth putting much investment in, like you said. Maybe speed feed aura, but on 5 to 10 dudes, yeah, I think you're right. It's a cheap chaff unit.
Yeah,
Just don't
I mean,
expect too much. They're
you
probably going to
could
die, and that's okay.
you could go dual hand weapons, speed feed aura for a 100-point unit. That's 2 attacks per model. Hits on 4s, 6s compound. They're AP1 from piercing assault on that charge. They're only going to get 1 charge, so speed feed aura does apply basically for them in the best possible way, because it's cheap. I mean, it's still a chaff activation at 100 points a unit, but now it's a foot forward chaff activation, right? It's not playing a defensive role in your army. You're spending 15 points to go, yeah, this will charge any scouting unit in the midfield that's within a pretty large radius with an 18-inch.
The 18-inch, I think, is the secret sauce where you can just pick at something out of line of sight and say, yeah,
It is.
any
And then
medium quality unit is getting charged.
it's 10 attacks on a 4-up with
It's
AP1
ferocious.
and ferocious. It's yeah, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna get super excited about that in any way, any meaningful way, but yeah, it can be used for these reasons. It can be used for these purposes, and it's cheap enough to do so.
Let's have a look at the veterans. So we're going up to quality 3 now, defense 4, still bad shot and ferocious. We start with the 2 close combat attacks and pistols. We've got the same upgrades again. We can run carbines, and you have to buy them individually for 10 points. You can upgrade one of the carbines with a mod, so if you want some limited weapons or just an extra 2 shots, you can do that on a single model. And you can also replace all the close combat weapons as well. So you can get either 2 attack AP1 rending, 2 attack AP4, and one of them can be a blast or an AP2 deadly 3. I like these guys. This is what I like to put in trucks.
Yep.
Because you're getting a lot of punch for your transport. Total. So I'll sort of go through how I like them. I get regen on them just because 4-up regen is good. I get speed feet even if I'm transporting them, because I know that I'll only get 6 inches out of a transport, but just the ability to, at some point in the game, just run 18 inches, either charging or onto an objective somewhere, it's too good to not have 10 points. Now, I do sometimes like to have leaders with them because they really appreciate that +1 AP, but I think just a couple of either cheeky rending and either a deadly or blast, depending on what you're going to do. Probably deadly and a couple of the AP1 rending. And I like to leave some just normal close combat weapon guys, either 1 or 2, just for, you got to have some for killing and some for dying. Just so it takes a little while before they get into the real weapons. What do you think about them? How would you be running them?
Yeah, I see where you're going. You sort of keep them cheaper by not just fully kitting out on the close combat weapon upgrades.
Mm.
There's definitely a reason. There's definitely a purpose to that. I think I just fill them out with all of the special close combat weapons.
You going AP1 or rending? Oh, or AP4?
Needs must. I think I go AP1 rending. It's half the price on the weapon upgrade. Rending can sometimes fill the AP4 niche.
Deadly 3 or blast? Or just 5
No.
rending? Just 5 rending? Okay.
5 rending. So there's a real great unit that we see a lot in other people's armies, sometimes in our armies when we play them, of this like 2 attack per model AP1 rending squad, usually better quality, usually kind of tanky. It's just kind of a nice unit to have. It does a lot against a lot, so it'll blend infantry with regen, which is generally where you see a regen, and it will actually do some decent damage into a tough vehicle. And then on top of that, compared to a lot of the other people who have these units, you have ferocious, so you're also getting the multiplier there. The downside being, of course, you've got that orky defense 4 on this. Usually you see this on a defense 3 unit, right? Like quality 3, defense 3. You do have
Regen's not nothing though.
Yeah, not everyone has regen option on those units.
I assume you're taking the speed feed aura as well on top of regen.
Yeah,
and just 5 heavy axes.
Like you said, even in a transport, the utility at the end of the game. Think of it: you got this unit left. The speed feed aura guy, or maybe the regen guy, are just alive together. Just zip on, cap an objective, win the game at the last second.
Now
it's good.
On your 5 heavy axe squad, can I interest you in pocket just changing one of the pistols with a heavy flamer mod on each of them? So you're paying 20 points to get both a carbine, but also the limited heavy flamer as well. So 40 points for 4 shots, 2 extra shots, I guess, because you're trading out a pistol, and you get the limited heavy flamer, 2 of them.
I like that. I think that's pretty funny. I would rather take it though in if I had maybe AP4 weapons. So if I went for the claws, I'd rather have the heavy flamer guys, which then of course is a multiplicative cost, right? Because I'm increasing to claws, it's 10 points per model, and I'm also having the heavy flamers. But because that to me makes it a utility piece, it can in one turn like purge some infantry, and every other turn it's chopping up tanks.
Yeah, I kind of like it if you some crazy bastard charges you, and you fight back. Instead of charging back and dealing with 6s, now you can hit him back with reliable, ferocious flamers. That turn, or if you just someone's out of range.
Yeah, well, that's the weird thing, right? Because that's the interplay with speed feet. Any situation where you could move and shoot the flamer, if you have speed feet, you could just charge them instead. I guess you could speed feet to flame them in a weird niche circumstance. What range would you need for that?
That's 30 inches. 30 inches of threat.
No, because
between 25 and 30 inches to not. No, wait.
It's only +3 when you advance. Speed feet.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. So it'd be 9 plus 12, 21. So it's anything between 18.1 and 21.
Yeah. It's pretty niche. But yeah, look, a pocket heavy flamers are pretty funny. 40 points for 2 pocket heavy flamers, and the carbines are not nothing. Yeah. I mean, just throwing in a carbine or 2 anyway, just for more shots, is not necessarily the worst thing. They don't replace anything.
Yeah, and you can keep them when they start taking casualties. You're concentrating more damage on fewer models.
Yeah. Weaker to snipers, but
no one takes them. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, veterans. I like them quite a bit. They're quite scary when they jump out of transports and things.
I would
Would you run
round
them? Run them or transport only?
transport only. I mean, even if you put in like range shrouding on them, which that might be the only way I could fathom putting them on foot. Nah, I just feel like you'd still get rocked.
Yeah, and these are very much melee because you can max out your melee special weapons, but you only get one per five of these ranged weapons. So they want to smash in melee. All right,
Yeah.
infiltrators. Okay, quality 4, defense 5. We've got bad shot, ferocious, scout, stealth, strider. Okay, so
Like
the,
the three S's.
of the apocalypse.
Mm.
So 5 pistols normally and 2 attack close combat weapons. We can change the pistols for shotguns for 35, or you can change them to 18-inch attack 2 carbines for 35. We can get a single special ranged weapon per 5. You can run up to 3 snipers. And they're sniper carbines, so you're getting a discount, but you're getting 18 inches instead of your normal 30 inches. And you can run a special melee weapon as well. How would you be looking at these?
I gotta be careful what I say here because I know you hate these.
So I don't hate them.
You
I
don't?
so I wish they were better.
Yeah.
But I do recognize this is the only scout in the orc list. So
Hmm.
in terms of like in terms of infiltrators in orcs, they're actually very valuable. Just because you know if someone's scouting you, you need something to get up there.
Yeah.
Um,
I think it's that same problem you have as orcs, right? Because they're quality 4, which is like that's fine. Quality 4 is fine, but bad shot just really makes me hate taking shooting orcs. Um, and these guys really
Especially if you're paying big
look
points, 150 points for 5 dudes, and they're hitting on 5s. Now, ferocious 5s, but 5s.
fives nonetheless. Yeah, I mean, like throwing. I thought maybe there might be something with carbines and some snipers, just keeping generally 18-inch range. But then you've got to really stack that unit. So infiltrators, carbines, and some snipers is what I'm talking about. Um, if you kind of picture that unit, what it's coming up against, the equivalent of that sort of the Pathfinders from Dow, or the
Scout
whatever they're
sentinels.
called, Scout Sentinels. Um, yeah, they're not. Well, I was going to say they're contemporary, so other scouting stealthed.
So like
Pathfinders.
pathfinders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't stack up in these situations. They just don't do as well. Um,
I think they have to go melee. Going
yeah.
from 5 up ferocious to 4 up ferocious is a lot better. Um, you only get one, but you are a lot cheaper for that. So you go down to 125 points for 5 guys. You can combine that up, and it's 250 points. And they have semi.
No.
You don't
No.
combine. Okay.
No. Bro.
I kind of like combining scout squads, but yeah. Either way you
Yeah,
want to
but
run them.
good scout squads is what you're picturing. I
Yeah,
think I think a 5-man unit of these feels bad to shoot at, right? Because they've got
and it's easier to
stealth
hide.
and it's easy to hide. I think that's already a fine unit at 125 points. It can do a
Chuck a
little bit
flamer
of
in there.
damage. Yeah.
So now you can probably have a flamer and the heavy axe on one model. Yeah, you can. So yeah, that sergeant has a 2 AP4 attacks or rending attacks and then a flamer on top. So even at one model, they're still relevant.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
snipers. What do we think about snipers?
I mean,
3
snipers.
snipers for 160 on 5 guys.
Hot tip: snipers are secret tech in 3.5. But 18-inch snipers less so.
So this is going to be in range of, yeah, anything that's pushing into the middle of the board. Any scouts.
Not generally where I'd see stuff that you want to snipe. Maybe if they're scouting up flamers or fusion blasters, then you might want to snipe. But generally, I'd see the buffers on squads that won't be in that band at the start of the game.
Yeah, I'm
Like
not
they're
sure
not.
about these orc snipers. They don't. A lot of the other snipers that are 18 inches, they have a riding rule on top that makes it worth, like the rat snipers that just are AP4. That's worth it for that. These are just straight up 18-inch, so you get a big discount, but they start to become hard to use.
These would be good and worth taking, definitely, even as is, if they just with the snipers, or could buy it as a rule, that surprise piercing shot rule.
Well, they don't have Oh, yeah, okay.
They don't need it. Oh, first of all, it gives ambush.
Yeah, it gives
Second of all,
ambush.
it's the turn they deploy. So turn 1 AP3 snipers would be worth.
Hmm.
In
I
a
mean,
scouting.
they are ferocious. How impactful is ferocious on sniper? It's kind of interesting. You roll that 6, you get 2 sniper hits on your model. But it's not that impactful, I guess.
It could be if you went for a hero, but you'd never build for it, right?
Yeah, so with infiltrators, I don't think run them shooting. They're too expensive for the kind of shooting that they're outputting, and they can't really specialize their shooting very well unless you're running snipers. Look, if your opponent needs to get sniped, if they're orcs or something, then this is your snipers. But
If you want to run this snipers as a shooting unit, I probably wouldn't go for either of the base weapon upgrades. I'd probably just get 3 snipers and a pistol upgrade, and then it's
a flamer.
4, yeah, like a flamer and 3 snipers, and then 4 out of 5 of the weapons are hitting on 2s anyway, so it is actually kind of a shooting unit now. That's not as bad now that I think about it.
Yeah. I do like them in melee, though, just to scout them up and have some meaningful melee. Whatever melee you want to pick. I like cheap blasts for these guys, so they're just 120 points pushing up. I do combine them. I like combining for 240. Yeah. So infiltrators, they're not as good as other people's scouts, but scout is such a good rule that these become almost semi-mandatory. So if your opponent is scouting you, then you're going to have to start taking these. Just to deny them just having a free deployment without any counterplay whatsoever.
Yeah, because pre-game placement is very much a counterplay situation, so which is one of the big advantages that you get from Scout. So being able to just deploy this at that same time, just so you have more units where your opponent's dumping all of his scouts, it's just good. It's just useful.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could see you finding okay ways to run this. I definitely wouldn't do the 10-man, since to me the purpose here is to counter scout more than it is to have a unit that's like supposed to be killy. So yeah, why overinvest in something that's kind of just a reactive component rather than an active player in your army?
Alright, so let's look at some jump pack orcs. We've got quality 4, defense 5, ambush, of course, bad shot, ferocious, flying. They can change all their pistols for shotguns. They can change one pistol for either a plasma, flamer, lightning, or rocket pistol. And they can get one extra special close combat weapon per 5 as well. Now, you were a huge fan of the Tyrannid winged grunts. What do you think about jump pack orcs?
Nah,
They're not as scary, are they?
they aren't.
5-man
It's
squad.
at this points cost and chance to hit. Let me emphasize that same chance to hit as the winged grunts in shooting. You get
Well, you got ferocious, so it's equivalent of a 4-up.
okay. Okay, I'll grant that. You get less, I think, special weapons, and you
Yeah,
spend more,
and half the models.
and half the models. So you don't want to do these shooting, in my opinion.
No.
The winged gaunts, I think, are I think they're pretty much a easy ambush must take for me. But here, eh, I do you want to? I guess if you want to drop orcs somewhere in a random place later, this is really your only option for ambusher.
Here's my problem with this unit. It's not. There's a few different ways you can run ambushes, right? You can run ambushes that are drop and they immediately destroy whatever their preferred target is. They just are so killy that they'll just annihilate things. Or there's annoying ambushes that are sort of cost effective and hard to get rid of. These kind of do neither. So they're not that killy and they're not that tough and they don't have great morale. So it's not going to be very hard to knock 3 wounds off a defense 5 unit and then they're making 4 up quality morales. And yeah, like what are you bringing in some close combat weapons with a single special weapon. Maybe if you double up the squad, then you can bring 2. It's not enough, and they're not that cheap for a 10-man squad. I don't think everyone's shooting these. What's that? 290 for 5 up hitting shotguns. That's a no from me. Yeah, do you see? Gun to your head, you had to use them.
Yeah, look, I don't take shooting on these guys, gun to my head, or otherwise. Which means I don't want to take the pistols, even though they have some nice pistols. Because I never want to not be charging with them. Yeah, I guess. Look, 220 points, no upgrade, isn't bad for what?
Run
10,
the
20?
blast for 10.
Yeah,
Just
so
throw in the
230
blast.
points for what? 16 attacks plus
2 blasts.
2 blasts in melee anywhere on the board on turn 2. I guess you could run them countering other ambushes. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
If you're orcs, you shouldn't really have trouble placing your units at the back of your opponent's board.
Orcs are one of the fastest armies in the game.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah,
They don't need ambush. They're not slow.
really.
They're incredibly fast.
Given you can just spend 10 points to slap speed feet on your infantry, you have opportunities to reposition for objectives, which is the other benefit of ambushes. So yeah, I just don't.
And they legitimately have the fastest transports in the game.
Yeah, that too.
They're ridiculous. So they don't have much problems reaching out and just touching fire objectives or backfields, which is mostly where you want to use ambushes. So yeah, I don't know. Just run Orc Boys and get the banner that makes them charge 18 inches, and they'll be doing the same thing, but with 20 boys that this squad's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, not sure about jump pack Orcs. Specialists. Okay. All right. Yeah, here we go. Quality 4, defense 5. Bad shot. They got ferocious and native ferocious boost. And they come standard with 3 flamers. Yo. What if sappers, but better?
Pure swords.
So you can run 3, and 3 is very dangerous. 6 is apocalyptic. This unit constantly just annihilates my troops when I verse orcs. One of these always just jumps out of a freaking transport somewhere, and it might be just 3 of them, and he'll just pick up 10 of my cavalry or something, or 6, and just like a 20-man unit gets wiped. Flamers are just horrifying.
It's
Flamers
with a 5 up is an extra hit.
It's a 3 up. 3 up with a 5 up. Because he's got bad shot.
Flamer.
Yeah.
Oh.
So Flamer makes it go to quality 2, but then bad shot still kicks in at 3 up.
Everything I said about sniper infiltrators is gone now. I didn't think about how that didn't apply. Oh.
Yeah. So the reliable goes to quality 2, and then the bad shot still counts. So it's a 3 up Flamer with a 5 up, 6 up explode, which is still horrifying. Don't let that get you down. That's ridiculous damage. And they also have these weapons. So you can have your flamers, and then you get these also limited blast weapons, which you can fire at another unit. So you can flame the equivalent of 2 units at the same time, and 3 of them, like, they're limited as well, so they're super cheap. So it's just, this is worth building around, this unit alone. It's incredibly damaging. And that's just the flamer version. So yeah, notes on flamers, they're horrifying, right? Ferocious boost flamers? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I just we've talked about this before, but a couple of different factions have this 3-man special weapon unit. Always starts with flamers. Can usually swap it out for a couple of different options, but just dropping relentless flamers has always been great. Your orcs, your base better relentless, and now you've got even better relentless on these guys. With the 5/6, and you've got those bomb drone limited weapons. You are never putting these guys on the board not in a vehicle.
Yeah, no,
Like
they have to be
guys,
protected and
it's
delivered.
compulsory.
Yeah.
But that means when they step out is when you want them to really do their damage, and they get a limited weapon upgrade. That's like, a blast.
It's not out of the realm of possibility. These guys double their points value in one activation. Like, easily they can do that. Very, very scary unit.
If you know you're coming up against a Titan Lords player,
rocket launchers.
I can see. Yeah, I was going to say I can see maybe then. Hey, you don't want to run 6 flamer squad.
No,
I can understand.
No, but then you just run rocket launchers, and they're fine too. I've had rocket launcher specialists thrown at me as well, and picked up my combat walker. Because, yeah, you just roll a couple 5s and 6s, and suddenly those hits just pile up. Now, what do you think about this bomb spear? Because it changes the concept of the unit. So they're a melee unit now, with AP4 Deadly 3, and that bad shot doesn't count, so now they're 4 up, ferocious boost, with the AP4 Deadly 3 weapon. Not limited, they can do this every round.
Yeah. Look, I don't think you run a double squad if you go for these. I think just 3 of them at 160 is like a dirt cheap, very scary bomb with the ferocious boost and hitting on 4s. If these don't kill it on that first turn with that, I mean, what's it? 1.5 hits plus it's 2.5 hits, isn't it?
Yep, it's 5 out of 6.
Yeah, that's already enough for me. At 160 points, think of the cost for getting that many AP4 Deadly 3 hits usually, and then you realize that
160
in this
points for that kind of threat.
Downside has to be in a transport, of course.
Yeah.
I would take that 3-man 160 point as the leftover space in a transport.
Yeah, and it can just chill and dummy activate for the first round, and then late round it might be able to just ride up and just blow up a combat walker or something, or a transport or a tank.
Yeah, but in almost any case where I was taking the specialist unit to put in a transport on its own, or like that's the purpose I'm buying transport for, I'd rather go rocket launchers for the anti-tank because then you can throw on drones.
I don't actually like the harpoon rockets for this unit because it makes them too niche. The deadly, when you want deadly, when you need it the most, when that tough 12 defense 2 melee unit is bearing down on your squad, or there's a tank that's just punishing you, this isn't this isn't doing its job, which is the time when you absolutely need that deadly. So I think rockets are just the way to go. Now, what do you think about railguns? Very expensive, but
as a Dow player, I think railguns are incredibly based. In this list, look, I
like that it's here.
Yeah. That profile, remember, is just one of the guys. So it is 190 points, but this is 3 shots per guy unstoppable AP2. This is not an insignificant number of shots. You're getting 3 of those shots are doubling. So you're getting 6 from that, and then
you got bad shots, so you're hitting on 5s, and everything's doubled. So 1/3. So you got 6 hits.
6 hits, AP2 unstoppable. It's enough to morale check a flyer.
And yeah, that's exactly right. Is if you have this option if you're being bullied. If your opponent is just bullying you with something like regenning -2 to hit BS or a flyer, then you can just have some railguns to just say no next time you play.
Yeah. Yeah, ignoring negative hit modifiers. This'll morale check pretty much anything that's been built around the negative to hit rules. So
Great range, by the way, 30 inches.
yeah, 30-inch. So this will hit a flyer anywhere on the map, which is awesome because this unit will die to a stiff breeze, which this unit isn't in transport when it's got the railgun. But it also means artillery stuff that's entrenched. You're getting 6 hits on them at AP2, ignoring.
They're dead.
Yeah,
they're dead. Most tough 3 artillery defense 2 is dead.
Yep. Or at least morale checking the tough 6 options. Yeah. At 290 points, I don't know. That's the problem. Is
it's not a
that
generalist unit, but it's there for you if you need it. If
Yeah,
your opponent is what are those? What are the Change Brothers? If your opponent is Change Brothers, here is your railgun unit to stop the nonsense.
Yeah. But okay, one real big drawback here that I need to discuss is the fact that at the end of the day, as orc shooting, I don't give a shit about negative modifiers to hit. Ferocious will apply its hits even if you can't hit on.
We calced that wrong, by the way. Unstoppable negates bad shot.
Oh, that's a fair point.
Yeah, so it'd be more hits.
Yeah. Okay.
That's another benefit. Thanks, Unstoppable. You just keep bringing the wins, Unstoppable. Just non-stop wins.
But ferocious boots means you're already hitting on 5s even if they're entrenched, right? You just don't hit twice instead.
Well, it doesn't matter with Unstoppable. You just ignore entrenched.
We'll go look at ferocious though.
Yeah.
Unmodified hits of 6, so even if you unmodified hits, no, unmodified results of 6. Okay, so if you have 6 only to hit, ferocious will still hit. It just won't deal the base hit. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So with ferocious boost, that means you still have a 1/3 chance to hit, even without unstoppable, targeting something entrenched, or stealthed.
I'm not sure if a ferocious boost would hit if you need a 6 to hit. That's something I have to check.
So I think it would. It just wouldn't apply special rules.
Interesting. But yeah, in terms of specialists in general, wow. What a great unit. Hard not to take multiple of these. And they got any problem you have, they have a solution for you. You got mass deadly, you just need to get rid of infantry. I think these bomb drones are incredible. 10 points to just double your blast 3 output. Yeah. Really, really, really good. And like you said, transport them unless this railgun is coming out.
Yeah.
Vet specialist. So what do we get? We get for veterans, we get an extra quality and an extra defense. So quality 3, defense 4. Same ferocious boost and bad shot. They have heavy flamers base, so they get an extra AP 1. They get the option of heavy machine guns, shock cannons, and plasma cannons. Okay, I like heavy flamers. I like heavy flamers a lot. I'm paying an extra 35 points for that privilege.
Yeah, with still the same chance to hit with the flamers.
Yep, with the same chance to hit.
No, not flamers. It's weird because the specialists are by default are very much a glass cannon unit, and with veteran specialists, you're making them tankier. The real benefit I would only ever consider these for is the unique heavy weapons.
Shock cannons.
Yeah.
talk about Daka. So 3-man squad with 12 shots, and a 6 is 3 hits, and a 5 is 2 hits. With AP1 on top. That's a lot of shots going out. And you can start to do things like put unpredictable fighter and things in this unit, and it starts to get ridiculous. You can have a leader with another one of these shot cannons in the unit. Yeah.
And then, well, you've got all those shot cannons. Yeah, unpredictable shooter is pretty funny on it, right? Because +1 to hit, you could be hitting on, like, genuinely hitting on 3s as orcs, which is always hilarious. But also, if you roll lucky and you get the AP2, that's a kind of spooky gun.
That's a very dangerous gun. 18 inches, though, this unit has to be used with care, because we're at 240 points for 3 models. 80 points a model. So they have to be babied. But this is the glassest of cannons. This is serious damage on not many models, and you're getting cheap output because you die to anything.
You could put spend 85 points and put a squad of Berserkers in front of these, so that they can't shoot your veteran specialists, and then just walk them. Counter your opponent's scouts / carbines by just wiping out the squad with just a few of these guys.
Yep. Anything that can shoot you, just shoot them first and remove them.
Yeah, but you do really need to do something to keep them from being shot first, because that threat range is, and 3 models, it's just not enough to survive.
What do you think between Harpoon Rocket Veteran Specialist and Harpoon Rocket Specialist? So, that's a big price difference. So, wait a second. Oh no, it's Impale. No, we want rocket launchers. Okay. So it's 35 points for an extra quality and extra defense on your rockets.
It's staying power. I mean, it helps them stay on the board a bit longer.
+1 to hit is very impactful too for the rockets.
It is.
I think Flamer's a default specialist, you reckon? And then maybe the other weapons you start looking at veterans.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm thinking about the shot cannon veteran specialist. Would it be too funny a thing to do to give them a leader with also a shot cannon, and give him range shrouding?
Not unpredictable shooter?
Unpredictable shooter is good.
And a shot cannon.
But that's what I'm trying to think. Range shrouding is a good amount of defense, right, for the unit.
585 points. It's a unit of all time.
I mean,
it's got damage. It's got legit crazy damage output. That's what? 12, 28 shots.
28?
12, 12, 4.
Yeah, 28. Yep. I mean, because the only reason why I suggest it is because range shrouding might legitimately save them from the sort of units that are gonna pop them. You're not expecting, like shotguns will be out of position to hit them. Carbines, you'll be able to get that first shot more often. Charging
maybe
units,
a repel ambushes too. That'd be kind of big because this would be a #1 target to drop on.
Yeah. I think this is a weirdly, like, that range shrouding aura really gives them a weird amount of tankiness.
So veterans,
Then again, do you actually double up the specialists in that case?
Only if you're buffing them.
Even if you do buff them, right? You're going from 16 to 28 by doubling them up. 16 AP1 surge.
12 to 24.
I'm assuming you're giving them the sergeant, the leader.
Yeah, with the shot cannon, with the unpredictable shooter, and now they could potentially be hitting on the equivalent of 1s or AP2.
Oh no, what I meant was just with the range shrouding only taking them in a the 3-man squad. Because that's a fair bit cheaper, and it's still 16 shots hitting
Oh,
on.
I see what you mean. Okay, because you've got the
Yeah,
extra shot cannon in there.
yeah, and at 16 AP1 surge shots with ferocious boost on top, you're probably getting enough hits and wounds with this to rock pretty much any unit.
Yeah. Just make sure to roll your 4 hero shot cannon separately because he doesn't have the ferocious boost. But yeah. 345 points is reasonable for that kind of
It is a
output.
lot more reasonable. Yeah.
But yeah, veteran specialists pretty scary.
Yeah. I couldn't tell you if this was actually a good unit until I'd seen it on the table, to be honest.
I've been smashed by them.
Yeah.
It's a good unit. Um, it's just all kinds of front-loaded damage with the weapons and the limited and everything. It's just they just get their value immediately, and if they keep living, then they just start picking up all your units.
Oh no, specifically veteran specialists though.
Yeah, heavy flamers. If that's what you want,
Huh.
or the rocket launchers, just in general. I've had both used against me.
Yeah, I'd pay it for the rocket launchers. Yeah, I'd have to see the heavy flamers myself.
Let's have a look at Ultra Vets. Okay, so quality 3, defense 4. They've got tough 3 with the ferocious bad shot. They come standard with 4 shots with carbines and carbine mods, and they come standard with blast 3 attacks. You can give them speed feat, no regen, but you do get fear.
You give them the discount heavy flamer mod or the discount rocket mod.
Yeah.
That's a brainer.
Yeah, that's an absolute no-brainer. Just save 15 points on your unit and get a better shot for the one shot you're probably going to take in the game.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You're not putting this as a pure shooting unit, are you? You're not, an idiot.
Well, I mean, what do you get? You get 4 shots per model. You get 12 shots for 200 points. 12 shots for 200 points is not awful, but it's not what this unit's about.
No.
What this unit about is these weapons. What's your flavor? You can get AP4, you can get your rending, you can get your deadly, and you get the option of a double deadly attack.
I mean, just the fact you have the option of the double deadly attack makes me biased towards it, right?
I definitely think you do click this and just get a double deadly on at least one guy, and then you figure out what the rest of the squad's going to do. He then can't pick the flamer mod, so you can only get 2 of these now, but that's fine.
They also have the mark.
For rending, yeah. So you don't have to go the heavy axes.
Well,
you can put it on other people, I guess.
Yeah, so who's applying the mark in this list? Because usually for armies, it's on like transports.
Yeah, for me, it's the truck. The blood mark, but I mean, the truck starts to get pretty expensive because these are all very good upgrades.
And the truck gets picked up because they're scared of what's inside it.
Yeah. Yeah, Ultra Veterans are... I mean, I guess you can... Yeah, one model. So you got one model with the dual heavy swords and the rending and melee mark. It's pretty good value for one model. And speed feat aura. One model to rule them all.
Speed feat.
You can almost walk these, by the way, with the speed feat. They're kind of tough enough that they can just walk up the board.
Yeah, that's how I'd probably run them, to be honest.
Are you ever doubling?
I guess they're kind of already a threat.
They're not that expensive. 215 points. I guess we haven't put in their massive weapons yet.
It's the 4-up save that does it.
Yeah, but they're pretty dangerous in melee. 420, blaze it. Oh wait, no, we've got to add the other weapons. No, we're good. We just don't get the speed feat aura. Okay, 420 for 6 Ultra Vets with a speed feat aura and the deadly attacks and blasts. Not bad. I'd probably change it to rending though. Oddly cheap. Does this seem cheap to you? It seems cheap.
It is. It's because they're killable. is to me is why it seems cheap.
Yeah.
I think you run 3 of these. You max out on your deadly.
So you're going the heavy saws and the dual heavy saws. So you got 4
Yeah.
heavy saws.
4 heavy saws. 4 heavy saws hitting on 3s with, compounding on 6
Some
is
pocket heavy flamers.
yeah. There's no reason not to, right? It makes it the unit cheaper, and you're never going to use them to shoot every turn. So
Most games you won't shoot them at all. So it's just 10
yeah,
points cheaper.
yeah. I mean, even if because they're limited anyway. There may
245
be
points is pretty good for these. Damn, actually.
It is. If you slot something in now that gives them, if you give them the +1 AP, it's pretty spooky. You're spending a lot to do it though.
70 points for an Orc Leader. And we'll give him a heavy saw too. So 330. And now we've got 5 heavy saws hitting at AP 3.
And here's the thing. Remember earlier when we discussed having a wizard cast ferocious boost on 2 units? Here's your second unit.
Yeah.
You run this up with your big mob. So you've got the guys that are going to kill everything, which is the Orc Warriors, and you've got the guys that are going to pop a tank, which is the Ultravets.
Yep. Yeah, these are kind of cool. I do like the little addition of a Orc Leader to give him the piercing fighter. They don't need it. They could just run on their own too for 245 points. That's a bargain for such a scary unit to just be around tough units.
You've got to toss up when you go to deadly units. Sorry, not deadly. Tough units versus normal units, where you often have a decent amount of wounds. So if you're comparing these to boys, you're going from 10 wounds to 9, but the cost is you are weaker to deadly, but the flip side is you are tougher to blast.
Once you start taking casualties, yeah.
Yeah. And also your profile in terms of damage degrades slower. It's 180 base to buy a unit of boys, 10 of them, and then it's 200 to buy a unit of ultravets. What do you lose? You lose 1 wound, you gain +1 defense, +1 quality, I believe, and more shots because of the base carbines, and all of your weapons, all 3 of them are good weapons. So you lose some volume, but you can have like good quality. I think these guys are a nice addition, and yeah.
Yeah, I think try to keep them value. You can run the other stuff. You can don't have to run heavy saws if you don't want. The AP4 is actually a pretty cool option too. Yeah, look. How much of a bomb can we make here? Let's just go nuts. Ultravet. Piercing. Heavy great weapon. No. Heavy claw. Don't need piercing anymore. We'll go ferocious. Put him in a combined unit of ultravets with AP4. And what do we get to? 830 points. And how many AP4 attacks is that? That's 9, 18, 26 with ferocious boost. Pretty scary. I think, yeah. Keep him cheap. Run him around. Mr. Sergeant with his dual swords is going to be super annoying.
Yeah. They'll also benefit from potentially the rending themselves. Your opponent has, for example, units like this, but with regen, and now you can slap a rending mark, or the get it from the spell as well. They do well from support from outside of the squad, I feel, and yeah.
All right, let's have a look at Berserker Beast Riders. So quality 4, defense 6. They got bounding. Ferocious, piercing assault, so they get +1 AP when charging. They're protected, so they ignore wounds on a 6-up. They're tough 3 base. They come with 4 attacks, 2 of which are AP1. No, yeah, 4 attacks, 2 of which are AP1. Group of 3. And we have the options of AP4, but we lose an attack, or we get a single attack with thrust and we gain shielded for extra defense, and they get the rending melee mark as well they can put on things. I've versed these. I didn't find them that scary. They look scary. Kind of like, I guess it's the kind of experience people have with my combat bikers, where they see them and they look very scary, but then you shoot at them and they're not very scary because they start dying very quickly.
That is the experience. Yep.
Yeah, so I think, yeah. So 170 points, but you are anything can just kill you. You die to deadly, you die to blast, you have no defense, so just normal low quality, no AP weapons are super value into you. And you're not that dangerous. You're not. This is not like a terrifying unit that's going to smash anything the second they get into melee. They're okay. I actually don't like these weapons. I'd rather just keep the 2 attacks and my piercing assault with to make them AP1.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I guess with being buff as well, suddenly it becomes a 4 attack each AP1 or AP2 rending.
Yeah.
And it's 170 points. It is fairly cheap. Look, if you consider these versus just default ultra vets, no upgrades, you could spend 30 points to get like 4 shots per model, if you want the shoot. Defense 4 up, quality 3 up. So a lot tankier and more likely to hit as well. And just kind of similar level at base melee weapons, but with the option to take much
The
better
ultra vets
melee.
can become scary. These guys can't become scary. I wish they had impact or something.
It's like they're trying to be tough chaff.
Yeah.
It's just not work.
The bounding is okay, but it's
It's
like
not even really fast.
It's not. It's really not. You have to kind of assume you're going to roll 2 inches, because if you try and get clever and think, oh yeah, I'll get average, and then you don't, and you don't get to charge your unit you were intending to charge that round, that's a super feels bad moment. So yeah, you kind of have to assume it's just a 14-inch charge that you've got every round. Yeah, look, I don't rate these. They don't really have a role in the actual list. Yeah.
If you want something fast to charge, take literally any of your units with speed feat.
Unironically, Orc Warriors are way faster than them and more reliable in their charge.
Yeah,
and
because
hit harder.
Once you've moved that first 18 inches up, say you get a charge turn 1 or whatever, once you've moved that first 18 inches up, there's not enough board left for you to need the extra movement.
You're going to be in the place you need to be where there's objectives to contest, so something is going to be around. Yeah.
It's like if you had pounding, but you got to use it twice in 1 turn, but then never again.
It's a guaranteed, so you know exactly what it's going to be. That's the key for me. So I know I'm going to get 18 inches, and I know exactly when I'm going to get it. Yeah. It's a no for me, dog. Sorry, Beast Riders. You're kind of like combat bikers to me.
That's the thing as well, because you see the protected, and you're like, maybe there's a bit of tankiness there, but
it's not.
I'd rather have the 1-cost resilience spell cast on my ultra vets from a wizard.
Exactly. Or regen. Alright, so Orc Bikers. So we got quality 4, defense 5, bad shot fast, ferocious tough 3. They come base with 4 shots, 3 at 18 and 1 at 12. They've got 2 close combat weapons. You can add a single extra close combat weapon, special weapon per 3. Haven't been a huge fan of bikers across any of the lists so far, and I'm still not. So
yeah, look, Fast units have a lot of value in lists. If this was your only choice for fast unit in Orcs, I would say, yeah, this fits a niche. It's not that bad in terms of the shooting, and it can melee, so it's not the worst, and it's fairly cheap. But this competes with actual shooting units. Sorry, actual fast units in terms of your vehicles, and they even go faster,
And they have Strider.
and they have Strider, and they don't have defense 5 up. This is nothing. This is
You know what's
I can't.
sadder? A transport has better melee than this. Because a transport can have impact 8, hitting on 2s, and these guys have 6 attacks hitting on 4s with Ferocious. Transport hits
Yeah.
harder.
That is
sad.
more hilarious for sure. It's very OP.
Yeah, I don't think they're savable. You can run a meme and you can have a boss with a bike giving them unpredictable shooter aura, because I think they're better in shooting than they are in melee. They got 4 attacks. What can we do here? So carbine mod with a bike. He's got what, 7 attacks, and chuck him in the bikers. Combine the bikers. How many attacks we got? We got 12, 24, 31 attacks for 505 points with unpredictable shooter. No, it's not enough.
Let's not forget that's that many attacks, but with a guardsman save.
With a 5 up defense, and boy do I hate my tough 3 5 up defense. Flamers love shooting him, Melters love shooting him. Heck, even AP0 loves shooting him. Yeah, nope. And like you said, there's enough fast everywhere in the Orcs list that they're not doing anything that we can't do better elsewhere. I don't think they're savable. Can you see any use for them? I can't. No.
This to me is a never take.
No. Get them out of
There
here.
are actually better bike options in the list.
Well, let's have a look. We got veteran bikers. So what do they get? They get extra defense. They get extra quality. Quality 3, defense 4. They get the same fast, ferocious, tough, and bad shot. The same attacks and the same close combat weapons.
You remember like 5 seconds ago when I said there were better bike options in this list? This isn't what I was talking about.
Yeah.
This is all never take.
This is actually worse than the normal bikers, because I'm paying 60 points of privilege and I'm not feeling 60 points of value here. I'm just throwing more into this hole.
You took a bad unit and gave it +1 to hit and +1 defense, and then we're like,
Still
yeah,
not doing its role.
It's still not. It just doesn't do either of the things it wants to do well.
Alright, get out of here, veteran bikers. Hover bikers. Alright, so...
Here's the source.
Alright, so here we go. We got quality 4, defense 5, bad shot, fast, ferocious, flying, key, and the same tough 3. It's got the same 4 shots, and we got some different weapon attacks. Okay, so where's your source?
Right at the bottom there, you'll see what I've mentioned as my favorite rule across basically any army.
Crossing barrage?
Yeah. An ability that triggers as you go over a unit. I love bombs on flyers. This is actually quite good.
It's only a single model, though.
No. Is it?
1.
I take it back. It's not as good as I thought. Never mind. Oh, that's so sad. I thought it was all 3 of them.
I thought it was 2 when I first saw it, and then I saw replace 1, and then it goes 1-time explosive payload. So it's 1. I guess you could double up to get 2, but if with the 3 model, it's 1, and then you get a 4 up, 3 hits with AP1.
Yeah.
Same thing with this. So I was looking at the Rotorblade attack, and I was like, "Ooh, impact 3," and then it's like, "No, replace 1." I'm like, "Oh no!" Like I wanted impact 9.
The worst part is as well. It is replacing.
Yeah, it's not even like you get 3 extra attacks.
I'm starting to think maybe remember when I said something about source. I'm starting to think I might have been possibly wrong.
The Crossing Barrage again. This is the second unit where I've seen Crossing Barrage, and it's been disappointing. So at least you can run rocket launchers or like meaningful shots, as opposed to the bikers where you don't get any of that. So you can run some flying rocket launchers with fast. But they're hitting on 5s with ferocious. 240 points. 240 points. It's okay.
Do you run the melee with crossing barrage? Is there something there? So I said that these were source, but that's because I misunderstood the rules. Can you run the melee with crossing barrage and get something out of them?
Well, then I guess you're either choosing impact or the deadly 3. Probably go impact.
Let's go the impact. How many hits is this? Of like
So the
melee?
impact in crossing barrage doesn't get. No, it's not an attack. So this doesn't get ferocious. So it's 1.5 AP1 hits here and what? 2.5 AP zeros, and then like 3 maybe. No, this is 8.
No. Or 5 or 6.
Yeah, that's not that much. And they're only defense 5.
5 or 6 hits plus 1.5 plus 2.5, 3, 4, so 9.6
Yeah.
hits at like no AP for 235 points. It's more hits than you get from a boy squad at the same points value, I imagine.
No way. Orcs would smash that. 20 attacks with ferocious on a 4-up? They're already better just without their ferocious.
Good point. Yep. Didn't do the math.
And they're cheaper. They're 180 points as opposed to 235.
Yeah, fair. Look, I'm looking for something, and I thought there was something because I thought it was triple crossing barrage.
It's fast. Like, fast and flying. That's what they got. Like, if you just run dangerous terrain everywhere, then they can fly over it, but they're not super amazing.
Yep. I stand corrected. None of these bikers are source.
All right, well, there is one biker. I like this biker. So we got Trike. So it's 110 points. 110 points for fast, ferocious, tough 6, defense 4. What can we get? We can get stride for 5 points. Click it. You can get speed boost for 10 points. I'm clicking it. And then, okay, so you got your base attack is a 12-inch 6 attack AP1. Or you can get a heavy flamer. Great. So we got a fast, which is even faster. So we got 16 inches. No, it's 10 inches base move, advance, and then you get your 12-inch rapid heavy flamer. Super cheap doing that. It's got Strider, so it can run around extremely fast. So it's got a 20-inch advance, or not advance, rush with Strider to just move around and take objectives. I like this as a little piece, just to be a cheap threat.
So I think I mentioned in the last video, but I consider anything below 200 points to be like in a way, a chaff activation. If you think of it in terms of you get 200 points for each unit in your army if you want to meet unit cap. So anything below that makes points available for other units while you're trying to meet point cap to have more upgrades. Now, this isn't like proper chaff, like it's not, sub 100 points just there to soak up fire. This does something. So I guess maybe chaff isn't the right word. We'll call it like light. I don't know what to call it. But it does something at sub 200 points, and it does it in a lot of different locations because of how fast it is. And it's not threatening enough for your opponent to really sort of like murder it, really focus on it. But if they don't, then it will secure objectives and win games.
So that's exactly how I like these. What I like these for. So we're in a game, right? I've got a transport with something horrifying in it. I've got a truck with some specialists, and maybe they've even got some veterans in there. So you are waiting on that transport to appear. That's where your deadly is going. I'm going to start pushing these trikes into your face, and you're going to shoot them. You're going to waste your deadly on them? Great, I'm happy. Now my truck can come out. If you don't, then I can punish you with them. Even better. I kind of like them for that. And they're just so fast with Strider. It's always good to have extremely fast units with Strider. For so cheap.
It's also at base, right? Or even at this, let's say 155 points. So upgraded with all the upgrades you should take on it. This may as well be scouting. It's a 10-inch move at the start of the game and still getting to shoot, right?
Yeah.
It may as well be scouting. And it's two rapid heavy flamethrowers at 155 points. It's some real sauce. If you compare it to like other sort of mid-range shotgun scouts, the base of this is 6 shots AP1 for the triple heavy shotgun, with defense 4, tough 6. It kind of seems like it's a cheaper version of like a shotgun squad, but actually
125 points. That's a joke. That's so cheap. And
can we need help positioning itself?
Can we point something out? There's no bad shot here. It's just pure bonus with this ferocious on its quality 4. And yeah, quality ferocious with a flamer. By the way, yeah, you roll that 6 and you get 3 hits for your flamer. Oh, yeah, quite a good unit. I like this concept of a cheap, mobile, still reasonably hitty unit. Yeah, it's got defense 4. I'm okay with that offset. That's fine.
This is also quite a fun unit. That would be... I honestly, if I was an Orc player, and I came up against you, Phil, specifically you, I would run 2 of these in every list with the Harpoon Rockets.
And you'd delete my Light Walkers.
Yeah, I'd point those Light Walkers and say they don't get to be a part of the game anymore.
Yeah, until I stop bringing them. Just force me to stop bringing them. And this is fast enough that it could get to aircraft with this 18 inches and the penalty too.
That's the craziest part, isn't it? Because those aircraft will be within that ban. You don't really get tough 12 aircraft. It's pretty insane.
Yeah, actually, I kind of like it with the Empower. You're right. That's a good tech because you're not over-investing and it's just going to be able to go after its preferred prey.
Yeah, I mean, you've given it its other upgrades here, and it's still just 165 points. If it can't be used for its Impale, you can just move it to the other side of the map this turn instead. It's 20 move.
There's so much built-in efficiencies here. So it's slightly less defensive. It's incredibly fast, but it's got these very short-range weapons. So it's fast with very short-range weapons. It doesn't have to pay a lot of points for, which means you can get very good output for not many points. Just, yeah. Great unit. Let's have a look at the truck.
Don't look at the rapid heavy machine gun.
No, you don't need it. You don't need 30 inches of range.
Yes.
It's a waste. You'd get it somewhere else.
You'd have to be some kind of silly person to pick that.
So, let's have a look at the truck. Okay, so base, it's kind of like a normal transport. So quality 4, defense 2. It's got fast, ferocious, of course, impact, tough 6, transport 11. Interestingly, it's got a very meaningful main armament. It's got 18-inch attack 2, AP2, deadly 3. So this can actually duke it out with other transports. It can actually overcome them, interestingly.
I know it.
Yeah, you can change those out if you wanted to. I would keep these the same. This is fine for me. I like this armament. And you've got these upgrades. My goodness. Okay. So we can have Transport 17. You don't always take this, but if you have... this allows you to do things like have a fully decked out 10-man veteran squad with an accompanying leader buff them, and a 6-man specialist squad in the same transport, which is just that's a whole flank that just got annihilated. That kind of combo.
I see that on the board. There's nothing I'm trying to kill more important than truck.
Yeah, this is if you're versing orcs, this thing has to die because there's things that can go in it which can just completely change the game in one activation. So anyway, transport 17 already good. What's next? Impact 5. So you can go up to impact 8.
Yeah. What if your melee? What if your transport was about the price of anyone else's, but then just was a better melee combatant than a lot of people have access to.
This is almost the same amount of impact as my fully combined cavalry squad.
Mm.
It's on a defense 2 truck. Wow. Okay. It's got Strider for 5 points. So good.
Speed
And
boost.
speed boost. So now you're going 20 inches on a rush. So you can 20 inch charge, impact 8, and then 17 people jump out.
Yep.
And rending, of course, rending and melee if you want to support the boys even more. It can. This might be the best transport in the game.
I'd pay that.
I can't think of any offhand.
Think about it.
Things that are better in very niche circumstances and stuff. But this is so scary with what it can do.
You could swap out to the harpoon rockets if you wanted to, and if I was going to take Impale, this is the other place I'd consider taking them, on the trucks, just as a 10-point upgrade. But honestly, yeah, just a couple extra rockets. If you have a ton of units that just have spare rocket launchers, you'll have enough anyway. But it's hard to justify spending more points on guns when you could spend them on the impact and just...
And that's what you're going to be doing every round, is just impacting. I think these choices you have to click pretty much. You need Strider. 5 points for Strider. Just click this. Speed boost, you could think about it, but plus 4 inches on the rush is just incredible as well to get those orcs 20 inches up the board for their 6 inch jump out. They're going to be charging something turn 1 for sure.
It's just no-brainer.
Yeah, it's no-brainer for me. As I said, I like veterans in this. I like specialists in this. Pick your poison.
This is where you put your glass cannon units that you want them to survive. You want them to get one charge off at least, and they'll absolutely cook.
And it's so fast that it can just easily defend itself. That extra 4 inches doesn't sound like a lot, but it is. That 20-inch movement just allows you to just hide so well and just pop out into anywhere you want. And Impact 8. I like Impact 3 on transports. Impact 8?
You
so
know me,
good.
I'm a huge fan of transports in general. I think they're underrated, just base. And then now you're like, oh, what if I took the two greatest parts, the speed and the impact, and just for dirt cheap, just slap them up, made them better.
With absolutely devastating troops to go into it.
Yep. And yeah, look, turn 4, being able to move 20 inches to another objective, and if there was an enemy on it, hit them with 8 2 up to hit attacks to try and ram them off and win the game. Dude, come on.
Yeah.
What more do you want?
Not much, I don't think. It's pretty much perfect. And the rocket launch, it's got the rocket launchers just in case, if you want to shoot at something meaningful, it can actually do it. I've had this, delete company commanders and things that are just running on their own. Just fires off a couple rocket launchers, and oh my god, it's ferocious. Now it's 6.
I ran a double Devilfish 1,000-point army with shotgun guys in each, and because we were playing campaign, so I had to have fast army, so all my units were in transports. So did he, by which he just took one truck with the transport upgrade, and so his entire army counted. But mechanically, what happened was he just moved up the truck and then shot the rockets, rolled double 6, both rockets doubled to 4, and then he blew up my transport and half my army in a single shot just on a fluke.
Get deadly 12, nerd.
Yeah, and you're not allowed to get mad at him because he's an orc player. So he's an excellent guy. So yeah, that was an experience. Look, take trucks, all right?
Yeah, take trucks and put horrible things in them. Have a good time.
Absolutely flat.
Alright, so Assault Buggy. We got Quality 4, Defense 2, Fast, Ferocious, Impact 3, Tough 9. Key thing, Tough 9. It's got 2 Attack Blast 3 at 30 inches and a 6-inch Blast 3 Attack 1.
I hate this so much, the base gun. I hate it.
6 inches.
Yeah,
well, it's long range and short range. It's like, what? You're losing efficiency somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sick looking at it.
It's got lots of different weird options though. So, look at this: AP 1, Deadly 3. You can pay points to get AP 1, Deadly 3. Your favorite.
Deeply harm.
It's Deadly 9 for cheap, but I like the Trike better because this Trike's way cheaper and it's at least AP 2, and it can move
Yeah.
faster, and it actually it's the same speed, but this you have to spend even more to get it up there. 260 points.
So the thing that I want to like on this is the shock launcher, but I don't know. You just
Indirect on a
expect
fast unit though.
indirect on a fast unit with an 18-inch gun. It just doesn't mix right, does it?
No. I like the Surge, but yeah, it feels bad. I don't mind the Unstoppable gun, but the 6 AP nothing, no special rules is kind of meh. It's all just kind of meh.
It's one feature that's good is that it's tough 9.
And it's defense 2, unlike the Trike. It is legitimately tough
Yeah.
to kill. Um,
But to be honest, at its price, I'd rather have 2 trikes.
oh, way more. Yeah. I don't... How would I run it? How would I run it? I've seen the Orc player has run this, the Rock Drone Launcher and the Truck Killer RPG. It was actually a 3-player game, and it was against the Rebels. And he had the reinforcement on his vehicles, which knocks an AP off. So he was AP nothing Deadly 3, which was super sad.
Yeah,
That was
that's
a sad moment when his, I think it was maxed out. It's 260 point unit still rolling into 2-up defense.
yeah.
So I don't recommend that. I think
Also, there's a unfortunate side effect here as well, where your mark, your applying rending is melee only,
yeah.
and so you're like, oh, maybe there could be some niche here with these weird shots to have rending on them and have that chance for AP4, but you just don't.
No.
Yeah, I run into similar things with a lot of the different lists that are like, here's a buff, but it's only in melee or only in shooting. There's some weapons in the list like this where you're like, oh, this would be a good thing to slap on, but it just doesn't work that way. It's not how the mark works. Yeah, I can't see myself ever taking these.
No, it's slightly too expensive for what it's doing. It's fast, but there's so much other things that are fast. No, not seeing it. Okay, Battle Truck. All right, so quality 4, defense 2. It's fast, ferocious, impact 6, and it's tough 12. It's got 4 rocket launcher attacks with AP 2 and a little heavy machine gun on top, and it has the option of transport 6. So it's a tank with deadly 12 for cheap because it's got 18-inch and 24 inches at only AP 2, but still that's deadly 12. And you can put specialists in here to back it up. And it's not easy to kill this transport because it's tough 12.
Well, it's Orc Deadly 12, so it's actually Deadly 24.
Yes, he's actually going to roll 6s.
Yeah.
I like this unit a lot. And you can go up to, what is this? Impact 11? I wouldn't do that because this is meaningful shooting that you'd be giving up, but that is funny to think about. Get the Strider, get the speed boost, and yeah. So 470 points for these kind of weapon profiles, this defense, and it's a transport for your glass cannon units. I like it. What do you think?
I'd rather have 2 trucks.
You'd rather have 2 trucks? Okay. I'd go both, and I'd send this out first.
Yeah, I mean, tough 12 as well. You're more likely to get to actually survive the move as a transport. Because the problem with your truck is, of course, if your opponent just shoots it, usually you lose a lot of value because you stack it up to be quite good. and the guys inside are usually quite good. You use the battle truck if you like. No, I'm getting this unit in, and you're not stopping it no matter what. But then if you're using it as a transport, you're probably going to uh, run or dash or whatever it's called, which means you lose out on the shooting profile.
See, for me, this is different to a truck, where a truck, it's all about the unit that's being transported. That's the star. This to me is a battle tank, and it has the option of a friend that can pop out and deal blasts. So if you're getting swarmed and your deadly is not working out, your 3 or 6 specialists can jump out and just remove that problem for you. They don't have to get up turn 1. You don't have to rush across the board. Just be a tank, and then if an opportunity arises, you jump out with your Alpha Strike unit and delete it.
I guess you shot with this. Come to think of it, this is good as based on what you're saying, which is a fair point. This is actually an interesting scout counter. Because if you slap even just 3 Flamer Sappers in this squad, the Flamer Specialists, with the bomb drones, yeah. So that's 130 points on top of it. And then you just move and shoot. This is going to scare your Lightwalkers. This is going to scare my Pathfinders. This is just going to mess with literally anything anyone can scout.
Yeah, it's an anti everything really, because it's got the blast and it's got the deadly.
Yeah.
And it's 2 activations. I like it. Just treat it as a tank.
You've got fast speed boost. It's a 10-inch walk. Like, it's a 10-inch advance, right?
Mm-hmm. With Strider. So late game, he's taking objectives too, anywhere 20 inches.
So, yeah. I mean, compared to other units in your line, it's keeping up with the faster stuff. Or anything that's dashing from without fast, right?
Mm. And as long as your guys aren't melee, then you don't really need the double move, because it's, 10 plus 6 plus 12?
Yeah.
That's enough.
I hadn't considered that you'd put... if you put the specialists in this, they're a shooting unit, so stepping out for 6 and using a flamer isn't actually a bad thing.
And you can use the big old battle truck's profile to sort of try and hide yourself a little bit. Just 3 models. Or 6 models. So I like it. It's not a its primary thing is not transport. It's a tank first, and then opportunistically you can use it as a transport. And I like it for that.
I don't think I run it unless I'm doing the transport, to be honest.
Yes. Yeah. I think so too.
Like, even though it's 4 shots, I guess 24 inches is the other benefit, right? It's a longer range anti-tank than you normally have access to. But without the transport, I just feel like I'd rather use pocket rockets from across my list than have like a dedicated one. Or if I wanted a dedicated one, I'd use, an actual bomb.
It's not that expensive really, for the amount of deadly you're getting. Yeah, it's AP2, but deadly 12 for 470, even with the 425 for deadly 12 before the upgrades. It's not bad. Yeah, pretty good. Melee Walker. So, quality 4, defense 2, fear 2, ferocious, tough 12, no fearless. We got 4 stomps AP1. We got Walker Saws. We got 4 AP2 deadly 3 attacks, or you can upgrade those.
There we go.
Yeah, we can upgrade those to 8 AP4 attacks. You are losing potential deadly, but it's AP4 and you can spread across multiple models. Don't take the shooting attacks with him. He's going to be wrong. Is this 2-shot heavy flamer, 25 points? No. Just
it's so expensive. If it was 10, yeah.
But... Yeah. Interestingly, it's not the choppiest melee walker, even though it's orcs, but it is incredibly cheap. 305 points. What do we think about him? I've versed this a lot. Every game I've versed the orcs, this has made an appearance. Maybe it's just my combat walkers will smack this thing up, and I know they will. So I just send them in.
So this won't kill a tough 12 vehicle, is the point. Your tough 12 vehicle has 12 AP4 attacks.
Yep. With
That
Furious.
can, with Furious, that can, and with Furious, I guess Furious and Ferocious same, so sort of neutral there. But smacking into each other, one can kill the other like really can't. I say that
It
you
could
could roll
happen.
a lot of sixes, technically.
There's no morale support here, so it's also a quality 4 morale base. That's it.
Yeah.
But he is cheap. And just the concept of a tough 12 defense 2, lots of attacks walker is pretty good.
Hmm.
There's no way we can support him moving faster, is there? I don't think there is. Can't get him moving.
Nope.
He just is
Not
what
that
he
I'm aware
is. It's good. It's not the best I've seen, but it's still good. What do you think about him?
You could give him Ferocious boost, I guess, with a wizard. That would be pretty good.
Yeah.
But for his contemporaries, he's just not one of the better options. But yeah, tough 12 defense too, like you said, is hard to pick up. If he comes up against anything other than like his equivalent in other lists, he'll do well. It's still 8 AP4 attacks and 4 AP1 attacks with Ferocious built in. It's a good profile.
Yeah, he's alright.
Yeah.
Alright, ranged walker. So, quality 4 defense 2, fear 2, ferocious boost, tough 12. It's got base 4 flamers for 375. It's a lot of flamer damage.
Yeah, it's a tough 12 as well.
Doesn't have bad shot either. It's just pure bonus with these ferocious and ferocious boost.
Yeah, 4 attacks with a 1 in 3 chance of doubling on blast. Hitting on 2s as well, because reliable. But if you swap out to another gun, it's hitting on 4s and still doubling on a 5 or a 6. I like this. I think this is really fun.
I think it's pretty good too. I kind of
This is
like.
a better battle tank.
Yeah, so with the rocket launchers, you've got ferocious boost, and you're
This is
still
straight up
getting
a better battle tank.
without the transport. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's not as fast, but its output is way better with the ferocious boost. 395 points for 4 deadly with ferocious boost and quality 4. That's pretty good. Any other way? Dakar. It's 12 AP one shots at 30 inches with ferocious boost worth 455.
Do you need the Decker?
Not really. It's
Could you
plasma
use it to
cannons.
shoot for 605 points for 4 plasma cannons?
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
imagine how happy you would be if you roll a 5.
yeah, that's true. You roll a 5 up, and you're doubling a plasma cannon. I mean, if you know you're coming up against custodians, this would be a hilarious thing to feel. Oh, sorry, custodians. This would be a hilarious thing to feel, the plasma cannon one, but it's kind of too niche, too expensive. I don't know. I think you either run it the flamers or you run it rocket launchers. You could do 1 rapid rocket launcher, 1 rapid harpoon rockets, so you can split fire against 2 units. At that point, you're potentially blowing up, both of your scouting flamer sentinels.
And it does have the fear and the stomp, so it can actually take a charge from a lot of things and be okay.
Yeah, and even if it wouldn't otherwise, that other thing has to have enough oomph to put out 12 wounds against a 2-up model, which is not super easy, even for dedicated melee units.
Yeah, how would I run this? I think just the rapid heavy flamers is kind of interesting for 375. Just walking up with the ferocious boost, the reliable. Potentially, that's a lot of flamers going through. Heavy flamers. And it's a much tougher profile than the specialists. Yeah, so we can get 6 heavy flamers off the veteran specialist for 270, or you can get up to the defense 2 tough 12 with the 4 rapid heavy flamers with the ranged walker. I kind of like that better.
Yeah, it's also got a better chance to hit, right?
Yeah, because it doesn't have the bad shot.
Yeah, and yeah, its defense 2 up is just super nice, and tough 12 super nice. There's not a lot. This is just a simple threat to put on the board. Your opponent can't really get rid of it easily. He has to use his sort of dedicated tools to take out tanks on it, which is nice because you're playing orcs, so there's 2 trucks in the list as well, potentially, that are running alongside this and sort of vying for that deadly firepower. This kind of would go in under the radar, and by the time they do shoot at it, they can't take it out. Or it soaks up the fire and transports get in scot-free.
Yeah, kind of like it. I think maybe the rocket launchers could be good too for that purpose if you're trying to bait for the trucks, because then you can 18 inches is just enough that you can start punishing if they don't attack you.
The speed is really the downside of this thing. It's really slow for its shooting output.
And there's no way around it. It's just
But
it's 6 inches every turn.
I think this is a great thing to take against someone who's... this is a great counter to the scout meta.
Yeah, they would get eaten up by this thing.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's a good unit. I like it more than the melee one.
All right, let's have a look at aircraft. So first one's bomber plane, quality 4, defense 2, aircraft, ferocious, tough 6. It's got 6 attacks and then a deadly 6 strafing attack. So you have to go physically over the model, and then you get to make the attack. And it's a deadly 6 AP3. That's not nothing.
It certainly isn't.
It's a fairly serious attack. We can change out the unstoppable for AP3 deadly 3 at 30 inches. And we can change out the deadly 6 bomb for either a flame bomb with blast and extra attacks, or a attack 6 shred. Oh, so we just get lots of range, so everything's 30 inches then, huh? Okay. Or a 2-shot plasma cannon at 30 inches for buku points, and you can get regen for 20 points.
Regen on your planes is hilarious.
It's pretty annoying.
But you don't have a transport plane as orcs.
Consider with the regen though, what shoots planes? Unstoppable. What is unstoppable ignores regen. So
it's superfluous. I think it's already superfluous because you don't mind as much if your opponent dedicates fire to take out a non-transport plane. Transport planes are really the ones that need the extra protection, potentially, if you need extra protection. And you just don't have that as orcs. So I think the regen's kind of a dead pick.
It could be good, but the majority of the time people are going to be shooting unstoppable at you, and it doesn't care about that. How would you be running this guy? So he can either go really close range with his strafing bombs with some long range incidental fire, or you can just have it all at 30 inches and just shoot the entire board at any time.
No, I keep the bombs.
Go the deadly 6 bomb.
Yeah, who can argue with deadly 6 bomb?
It's AP3 too.
Yeah. Put it this way. Look at this profile just as is, not even adding anything else. Every other gun this has doesn't require you to be close to an opponent, so you can strafe as much as you want
Here's a,
with this.
here's a question for you. Once per activation, so strafing and ferocious. So pick one of them and attack it with this weapon as if it was shooting. Does that mean
Yep.
you can trigger ferocious?
Yep. It's attacking when attacking.
So you can slam 2 deadly 6 hits in on a 6?
Potentially, yeah. Yeah. It's also the added benefit, right, of strafing is the opportunity for a third split fire. So you could throw in the Buster Cannon. It's only a 5-point change to swap out over the Unstoppable. It's still got 30-inch range. You're swapping out for AP3 single shot versus, 3 attacks, Unstoppable, AP1. I think either is fine, depending what you want more of in the list. With a 30-inch gun on a flyer, I don't think you need Unstoppable if your goal is to shoot planes. If your goal is to shoot entrenched stuff, then I guess it would be fine. But
This profile is right at that point where it's annoying, but it's not annoying enough that I'll probably be able to deal with the aircraft rule to take it out, where I'm going to dedicate unreasonable amounts of hate into it.
yeah,
So you might be able to just drop heavy bombs on people all game. Yeah, Deadly 9 with the potential of Ferocious on top for 315 points with these defenses and speed. I think it's enough. I think this is an okay unit. Normally I don't like non-transport aircraft that just shoot. This is just about there for me. What do you think?
yeah. Like I said, yeah. This me like this. Me like this a lot. Um, Even if you just take the Unstoppable, or if you take this, I mean, Unstoppable.
Having pocket unstoppable is okay. I like it.
Yeah, ignores regen, ignores negative modifiers. If they're like a low defense entrenched, this could be fine. But if they've got a lot of, yeah, I think most entrenched is like a 2-up save as well, isn't it? The ones I can think of. Anyway.
Well, I can put entrenched on my infantry. So that could be a 5-up save.
Yeah, that's kind of horrifying. Sick. Yeah. So with the AP3 deadly Buster Cannon instead, with the 30 inches, you're still able to hit aircraft. With the neg 2 to hit from entrenched, you're hitting on 6s, but if you roll a 6, you're hitting twice. I think either way you take it on weapons is okay. I do really like the heavy bomb as an option. There is something to be said about the heavy bomb falling off over the course of the game. In a lot of games, like mid-range vehicles can blow up early, which means that could potentially fall off. But if you think about it as well, a lot of the times when we play, there's like a tough 6 sentinel in the middle of the board that's just taken like 2 or 3 wounds. It's not quite dead yet. That this can just keep dropping on, you know?
I'm starting to see more and more high toughness units appear. So yeah, it's going to have targets. Yeah, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, you're also not necessarily going to blow up any given tank as an orc player. You've got a lot of like variable anti-tank, so having deadly 6 floating around is nice.
Let's have a look at the attack plan. So for more points, 405. It has no options. It's just got 12 AP1 unstoppable attacks. Okay. So this can only ever shoot, unlike the other one, this can only ever shoot 1 unit around.
405 points for 8 AP1 hits. Anywhere on the board? It's expensive.
It is expensive. And it's more specialized in terms of its targets. No, I can't see it. It's more expensive and more niche. I don't think it's very good.
It's 8 AP1 hits, like I said, is the average with this. And with Unstoppable, you don't have to worry about that being modified, I guess. But what's that? what's 8 AP one hits going to be especially useful against? Not a lot. And the things it is, you can get that for cheaper. 405. Just this is a nothing to burger to me. It doesn't do anything.
No, it doesn't do enough for the points.
Hmm.
All right, let's have a look at some Titans. So great battle truck. Fast, ferocious, impact 9 base, tough 18, transport 22. We've got a heavy machine gun, we've got a blast 3 cannon, and we've got 2 deadly 3 attacks from the rocket launchers. And you can start changing them out. So you can get rending unstoppable or more deadly 3. You can change the transport, or not all the transport, but 10 of the transport to a indirect mortar with blast 6. You can change the rocket launchers out. You can get more transport. Impact 14. Strider and speed boost. Okay. Tough
I don't
18,
know how
transport 22.
we've had problems like recurring with Titans that they've just been like completely untakeable because of the how bad being good at melee and shooting at having like a lot of expenditure in both at the same time is. This to me kind of feels like an exception, honestly.
You can get crazy amounts of transport here. So, yeah, so we got a 20-inch move because it can move just the same as the truck. And it's got transport 28.
Which is two 10-man squads with heroes and a 6-man squad, or a 6-man squad with a hero and a 20-man squad with a hero. This thing can be loaded to the gills, and there's not a lot that can kill this.
Not on the turn it comes out when it wants to do its thing.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty good. If that's your plan, then yeah, this can just go to the other side of the board and just deliver whatever it's going to deliver. Pretty good. We don't ever take the heavy mortar, right? I don't think so.
Nope.
Mixing indirect with fast for more points and less transport. That's a no. Any weapons that stand out? Rending Unstoppable is kind of interesting, but for 80 points.
8 points now.
Might take more deadly.
You
No,
can.
it's good on its own. It's just keep it fast and make it a nice transport that can impact things.
It's just a transport that your opponent's never gonna pick up.
Certainly not on the turn it's doing its thing.
Ah, it's gonna struggle to even get through it over the course of the game, right? Tough 18.
Would you take it at 2,000? Because you could.
I wouldn't take it at 2,000.
You could
That'd be
fit your entire army in here.
You could. This is the funniest thing for our campaign, isn't it? You could run a 2,000 point fast army and throw everything in this.
I think it's a niche Titan, but it actually has a use, which is more than most Titans have. So that's pretty cool. Combat Beast. Okay, so again, transport 22, but none of the speed. So we've got quality 4 defense 2, tough 18 ferocious, and we've got 2 deadly 6 AP4 attacks at 18 inches. We've got 12 melee attacks. You can change out the harpoon cannons for indirect blast. Don't do it. You can make it a caster.
That's pretty funny.
You can give it the rending melee mark.
Well, let's clarify. You lose half the transport capacity as well if you.
Yeah, you're gonna have to transport 11. And I don't. Yeah, I don't think it's worth it for that. So this is an interesting one. So it's kind of doing the same role as the Great Battle Truck, but it's 8 inches slower with no strider.
Better gun.
Better gun. Yeah, it's got 2 AP4 deadly 6s. That's not nothing.
And better melee. I'd rather that melee profile over the impact. For sure. So it's more killy by itself, but less fast. Yeah.
I'd rather the speed.
Yeah.
I don't want to dawdle forward 12 inches, not attack, and still not have my boys ready to jump out and murder things.
Yeah, it's the same problem with a lot of other melee titans that just don't have fast. It's, oh great, you can run 12 inches a turn, thus giving up your guns and just feel useless, or you can move 6 inches, use your guns, and never use your melee profile. Perfect. Um, this falls into that same trap.
Yeah, I think Great Battle Truck just does it better. Let's have a
You
look.
can't even really swap it out to make it more of what it does. You could go to twin rocket launcher instead of the transport and use it as a gun tank, but even then, eh.
Well, let me think about that. So I was talking about a battle truck as a gun tank, and just having some specialists in. So if we just use that for the same concept, it's got some specialists in, but
Okay.
it's
So
got
so it's greatly more difficult to get into range of firing your deadly weapons on the
yeah, it's
combat
4
beast.
inches slower on an advance, 8 inches slower on a charge, no strider, and it's got deadly 12, deadly 18, and the other one's got deadly 12. It's got tough 18. I think the battle truck's just a little bit better. Yeah, okay. Anything you can see with the combat beast?
It's
I
so
mean,
funny because
it's
it's like
crazy
it
shots.
gets, yeah, but it's just getting access to what other people would get on like two tough 12, like two what's that robot walker that has the, I think that's the two-shot one, isn't it?
The
The
errant, or
no,
is
the
it
robot,
the Quista?
the, no, I'm thinking of the Robot Legion.
Oh, yeah, the Spider Walker.
The Spider Walker, that's it, yeah. I
Yeah,
think that's
actually,
actually a
it's exactly the
two-shot,
same gun.
yeah. But yeah, like less cost because you don't just blow it on transport and like absurd melee and the extra toughness. There's how would you like a unit that does worse at everything else than the other options?
And it's got lower morale.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, pass. Um, Great Walker. So we're getting up here now, 825 points. We got
I
quality
don't
4
seem
defense 2, fear 4, fearless though. It's the first time we've seen that rule. Ferocious,
Mm.
tough 18. We got a minigun with 8 attacks, AP1 rending. We've got 2 rocket launcher attacks. We've got
four launcher attacks.
4 rocket launcher attacks, you're right. 3 deadly 3 attacks in melee, 8 stomps. We can run plasma cannons. You can change it out to AP4 claws. You can run transport if you want. 65-point regen.
Yeah, you can't make it less gish like at all with any of these upgrades. They're all upgrade a range weapon to a range weapon or a melee weapon to a melee weapon. And there's too many points in range and melee. Yeah, it's the same. This is the normal Titan issue with this one.
It's
Yeah,
scary, but it's not 825 points scary.
yeah. I'd rather split this profile in half and have two units that do the different things. You don't see anything different.
I can't see it. No, it's actually got meaningful melee and meaningful shooting, which I don't like on very expensive units because I can only do one of those at a time. And the transport doesn't mean much to me when it's slow. The regen, yeah, sure, it's very expensive. I'm just piling more points onto something that's already expensive.
If this was like just the shooting profile and got the discount from that, this would be a pretty scary thing. But
Yeah, if these were optional upgrades, these two things right here, then we might be talking. But yeah, this probably adds like 300 points on its own, these two attacks. No. No from me.
yeah,
No from you.
yeah, of course, yeah.
No for the
It's
Great Walker.
so-called Great Walker doesn't seem very great.
Beast Titan, 860 points. We're up to tough 24 now. Quality 4 defense 2, ferocious, transport 22 base. We've got a heavy machine gun. We've got a basic cannon with blast. We've got 2 of the harpoon cannon again with AP4 Deadly 6. We've got additional 2 rocket launcher attacks, and then we've got heavy claws and stomp. Okay, we can get the transport up to transport 28 again. We can get impact. Oh, it's impact 5. So
impact on a slow vehicle. Yep.
yeah,
Perfect.
we can change things out. We can get rid of the transport. No, we just duck it down to 11. Oh dear, I'm seeing the same thing as the other ones.
Can you get rid of both extra spaces?
No,
No.
one gets rid of the other.
I mean, if you could take rid of both, maybe you could, and they both give you weapons, there might be an argument here, but no.
No, this is the same as my Titans. You're just not getting the amount of effectiveness you need for 860 points or more.
It's a good shooting profile. It's actually a pretty good shooting tank. It's just that it blows so much points on things that it wouldn't need to do that.
And it's so slow.
Yeah, so with all these slow ones as vehicles, I always just think immediately, okay, just ignore the melee stuff. Like take out that, build it for ranged. You can get an indirect, which is instead of some of your transport, which covers some of the cost, but you're still paying for 11 transport and then 14 melee attacks.
22 transport. Oh, I guess you can take out the...
Yeah, so I was saying you can swap out for the...
Yeah, rocket launchers or something. Yeah, I don't see it.
It's what, deadly 24?
More. No, you're right, 24.
So it's 24 without factoring in ferocious. So it's up to 48. Potential.
Could be 2 battle trucks. I guess these are AP4.
Yeah, and then it's got that 18-inch without fast.
No fearless.
Nope. Ah, that's even worse.
Can you imagine failing a morale on a 4-up on your 905-point unit? Damn.
I'd rather not.
That would suck. Oh my goodness.
I think the answer is one of the Titans for Orc Marauders, which puts them cut above the rest in Titans so far.
Yeah, I can see uses for Great Battle Truck. Yeah. Let's talk about orcs in general. Oh, actually, no. Let's have a look at some army lists. Alright, so first one. So, this is a fairly standard list. The idea is to threat overload a little bit. So I've got the Orc Leader with the piercing fighting aura with veterans in a truck. They're going to run up the board, but they're going to do it later because we've got Trikes. So the Trikes are going to go out first and try and bait any deadly that the enemy's got. And if not, then they'll fire off their rocket launchers and hope to delete the deadly. And if not, then we also got a battle truck, which is going to have specialists in it. So we've got 1 unit of 6 flamers with the bomb drones, and then we've got 2 other units of specialists with flamers and bomb drones. And yeah. So the Trikes and the battle trucks are going to handle your deadly problems, and the specialists are going to delete anything that's unfortunate enough to be infantry. And you've got a very nasty squad with some accompanying specialists in the truck as well. What do we think?
Look, I see this, and I know that there's one specific list that this couldn't be used against. But aside from that, this is pretty cooked.
Yeah, so the truck just waits for its opportunity and then just runs 20, and then these jump out, and then the battle truck will deliver its stuff, and then these jump out. It's going to be a hell of an alpha strike.
How many activations is this all up?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Which is pretty good. It's near cap. It's not too little. but it's not at cap. You could make it closer by splitting up the specialist 6-man, but I don't know that I'd do that. So is the idea the 6-man goes in the battle truck?
Yeah. So the idea is that the veteran bomb with the 6 specialists go into the 17 transport of the truck, and the battle truck gets the 2 units of 3-man specialists, and that's going to go on a different flank. So between the deadly and all these blasts that can pretty much handle anything, and it's there to go first to kind of bait shots for this truck to just open some space for this truck to get its job done.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah, it seems pretty
it's
hyper
simple,
kill.
but it's just it's an axe to the face simple. It's gonna you've got one plan to execute, so keep it simple and just smash the enemy.
Yeah, but it's also a do or die list, because if you fail to achieve the killiness that you've built this for, which is possible, you probably lose.
The punchback is going to be brutal.
Yeah, so the Trikes at defense 4, not as tanky as they could be. So if you're rushing them all out first, your opponent can sort of counter with their anti-infantry stuff. That's the sort of downside of Trikes. And they kind of have to, right? Because they can't ignore the Trikes completely. But if you don't sort of get rid of enough in that turn 1 with that like transport deploy fight, now you've got specialists in the open, so they'll get cut through like butter. You've got your vets in the open are a bit tankier, so they'll probably be able to survive a bit. Really, it's your truck and your battle truck that are the main like source of survivability into the late game. So if you don't kill enough in the early game, you'll lose out on objectives in the late game, unless it's a low objective count battle. So if there's not too many objectives, you might still be able to pull through.
The worst thing that can possibly happen is this truck blows up with these units inside. So this cannot be put in a vulnerable position. This has to be outside of line of sight, and it has to go last unless the deadly is already accounted for or it can't shoot where you're going. This entire list is pretty much built around what this truck is going to do first turn.
It's do or die list.
Yeah. Turn 1, someone's going to win turn 1. If this does what it wants to do, then your opponent is just on the ropes and they're probably going to die next turn. If not, they've already lost. If it doesn't get to do its thing or if something goes wrong, then yeah, it's going to be a quick game either way. But yeah, I mean, even later on, you've got these very fast units with Strider to run around and cap objectives later on while these units survive and mop up. But yeah, nice, simple, easy army list, hopefully. Let's have a look at another one.
It also wouldn't do anything into Robot Legion, right?
Eternals.
Yeah.
Yeah, just concede if you're versing Eternals.
Yeah. And then it wouldn't be enough into Knights either, but
Knights you could maybe play with because you've got enough rocket launchers that you can threaten them. These blasts aren't doing anything into them, but this is also non-trivial into them as well.
I guess it's more, it's the big 390 point expenditure on flamers that makes me a bit sus.
520.
Oh yeah, sorry, 520. And they're like really where a lot of the damage is built into. Yeah, look, you do better against I think Titan Lords than Robot Legion, but yeah, I think that's the flaws of this list. It could definitely spook most opponents it comes across.
No one's going to like this truck moving 20 inches and these units popping out. All right, let's look at the next one.
Better.
All right. So this one is more of a
boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground list. So nice and simple. 3 units of Orc Warriors with 2 Heavy Claws in them and a Speed Feed aura. So they're just there to run across the board. They're going to be supporting a 10-man unit of Infiltrators with Heavy Clubs. So they're going to threaten first turn charges. These guys are going to be up there either getting first turn charges or turn 2 charges. We've got a unit of veterans in a truck. They've just got the AP4 and the heavy clubs, regen and speed feet. They don't have a supporting character. We've got a unit of specialists who's also going to be joining in the fun with the veterans. Again, these guys have got rocket launchers this time, just to help out a little bit with some more anti-high toughness, and they'll run some bomb drones just to, because why not? And a melee walker, just to take some heat off this truck and just to give an additional melee threat.
Yeah, I mean, this is another list here with orcs where you've got too many points in the truck to have it die. You need to protect that truck at all costs. This one's a bit better off at protecting it, though. How many activations we got here? 3,
8.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got the same number, but the great thing about the Sea of Orcs that'll be on the board is that they're very easy to use to help obscure the trucks. And if they spend their time shooting at that truck, there's still, at the end of the day, going to be 30 Orc Warriors right in their face.
And Infiltrators.
And Infiltrators, yeah. So 40. Yeah.
And hopefully you can spook them a little bit with the melee walker. Just push this. This is a distraction, the melee walker. If it does anything, that's great. But push him out early to hope to bait some deadly to take some pressure off the truck.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a distraction card effects is what it is.
It's actually quite hard to build orc lists because they're quite expensive. Everything they have is almost quite expensive.
Yeah, I had to go at that this time to see if I could pull out a list to show you as well. But I really struggled to fill it out to 2K as well. We had the same problem with Robot Legion until we'd seen it in action, however, and started to realize where the source was. I think in this case we've seen orcs a fair few times in action.
I've fought orcs so much, more than anyone else almost. Yeah, well, let's talk about orcs. So, what are orcs generally? They're a very offensive army, but they can't really take a punch, especially for their points, and they don't have super great morale control either. But they move incredibly fast, so they're almost like an Alpha Strike swarm army. I guess is their concept. What do you think?
I disagree on the morale front. Just because leaders mean generally where you've got quality 4, you can just choose to have quality 3, and because of the buffs, it's something you might want to do anyway. In that second list you did, where you're just running like min-sized squads, you might not want to leader spam to give them, but I think it's fairly easy to increase them to quality 3, and I'd call that at least like a mid-range morale, right? It's not a 2-up, it's not a 4-up with Fearless, it's in a middle range of like decent morale. Yeah, they suffer from a lot of low defense, as you said. Even their sort of vehicle units, a fair few of them are defense 4, right? The ones you want to take. Their bikes, they're what do you call it? Any of their tough units, none of them are like 2-up defense.
No, even their like ultra veterans are only defense 4, and no way to improve that.
Yeah, they can't give up a weapon to get like shielded, and they're stuck being like shooting and melee. They can't just go hard on one, like just get rid of the weapons on the other one. Like they might be able to in other cases.
They do have this though.
They do have speed feet, and that's it, isn't it? They're fast.
Super
there are
fast.
other fast armies, but not as universally fast as orcs are. You're looking at infantry that zip across in a single turn, get some absurd charges that outcharge anyone with speed feat, and then you've got all your vehicles are the fastest vehicles in the game, just if you choose. Um, they're clearly like a high speed, high octane. Come in, throw like a bucket of dice at the table, hope you get sixes. They compound. It's very much like a. I think this army is well built for the classic orc player trope.
Dude, this is a
Um,
balls on the table army. Like, there's no room for pussying about. You
yeah,
have to go in, and you go in hard with just horrific units, and you just see what happens. Like, you'll come out on top or not.
yeah,
Either way, something horrible is going to happen because you're going to force it.
yeah, and because it's so like, yeah, win or lose, swingy. I think you need to be one of those players who will have their own tank blow up and go, "Oh, that was sick," um, to really get the most joy out of orcs. In terms of competitiveness, I do think they actually fall apart a bit because of the swinginess.
Where would you rate them?
I don't think I'd put them up in I don't think I'd put them up in S.
They're B
I
for
don't
me.
think in A. Yeah, that's more or less what I was thinking here too.
They're not a bad army, but they are hamstrung by their lack of just really good chaff. And they are very expensive. They have to pay for all this output that they got. They have scary output. They're actually terrifying when they charge you, but they have to pay for that.
Yeah,
And to it's hard to play a list which is melee and can potentially get out activated by the enemy.
mm,
And there's key weaknesses, like you mentioned. Every list you see, you're like, well, I'll just blow up that truck and this whole army falls apart. I'm like, yep, that happens. Yeah,
it's that's a shame too because it's stuff like the truck is really valuable to the list and really good unit, but by its nature, it's so targetable and so killable that if it fails, it affects you so much. Um, yeah, I think there is a niche for lists that we haven't seen yet, that might boost them a bit past just like a flat B, in terms of voting stuff like moving more on foot, like less of the piling things into a truck to get value out of them. Um, but yeah,
maybe there is a orcs like Orc Warriors and Veterans Swarm list where you just take all banners and like 10 and 5 man units and just run at the enemy.
just across the board.
Maybe that's a thing.
Yeah, you could support it with trikes pretty well. Um, like a decent collection of trikes. Yeah,
I think the specialists are like, if you are playing orcs, you need to really think about specialists because they're incredible in terms of their output that they can give you.
yeah. Nothing wasted on protecting the squad. Everything's positioned to increase their ability to murder. Yeah, I
How,
think that's
how do we counter them? These guys are super vulnerable to snipers.
yeah.
I love taking snipers against orcs. It's just pick out the medics and pick out the speed feed auras, pick out these leaders giving morale bonuses, and it's just it all starts to fall apart a little bit.
Uh, attack them first is how you counter orcs.
That's hard to do.
It is and it isn't, right? Because depending on how they build, um, you can outshoot orcs generally. They fall apart a little bit at shooting. Even the stuff that's built for it isn't quite as good. Um, and then in melee, if you can charge them first, they're usually quite low defense. So stuff like power swords into orcs is pretty much a universally useful weapon. Going up to AP4 doesn't seem as valuable against this army. You're not seeing defense 2 in melee unless it's a truck, like a ram, at which point, you know, it's not that as threatening as a dedicated melee unit. So yeah, if you just take the opportunity to hit them first, that's a pretty hard counter. And then there's the inherent counter of they are very swingy. They can either just win hard or not do enough.
The ferocious needing sixes or the fives and sixes for the boost. Yeah, sometimes you just don't get those rolls.
Yeah.
Or yeah, and you just they're either spectacular or not very good. And sometimes there's not much in between.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, like you mentioned, in a tournament setting, yeah, I think solidly B tier. They're very threatening. They are very scary to be across the table because they can move so fast and they hit so hard. But they don't take casualties super well, and they can sort of fall apart in melee a little bit. So they need like a fine hand to. Actually, no, they just need to push up really aggressively and hope for the best. I guess.
Yeah, just have luck. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, they really fall apart to being killed, which you could say about literally any army, but it's especially the case here because they're just easier to kill.
Overall, I think it's a good list. The ferocious is actually kind of interesting because it's more damage defensively now, even when shaken. It's kind of scary to go into orcs with their ferocious, even when they're fatigued because they can double you out with their sixes. But yeah, I think solidly B tier. Quite a strong army. They can punish you pretty heavily, but a little bit hard to play. Would you agree?
Yeah.
That'll do us this time. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Have a good one.